The first option was cutting off the junk. I thought the second option was cutting off the hose like the girl. I thought the hose was the girls. You cutting like you moving him away from every girl possible.
I'm talking about just the male gender.
Oh yeah.
Either you cut off the balls and you leave the dick, or you cut off the dick and you leave.
Cut off the dick, leave the balls. I know I'll be devastated.
What do you think?
I agree with that.
Devastated.
I agree with that.
I ain't got no dick, but I got balls. What I'm finna do?
That's the only punishment.
Nah, it's gonna make me mad. It's gonna make me think about what I did in the past.
Then you're gonna unalive yourself because it's
Literally.
gonna drive you fucking crazy.
You literally.
Yeah,
That's a good way to get
literally.
pedophiles to kill themselves.
Yeah. Nah,
Or put them all together.
Can't say that word either.
I mean, they'll cut that out. They're gonna bleep that out. Y'all gonna bleep that out?
No.
I thought y'all was gonna bleep it out.
We're just gonna cut the end of the video right before he said that.
Right before that. It's gonna be one of those. You'll be able to tell we put that shit. You talking about something totally different as soon as we get back on the fucking track. Nah. We're not doing that today.
That's how fucked up my brain is. I think about it.
I feel you. I think you just put them all together. They'd be a fair game. Put them all on the island together. All of them. Everybody who done did something.
You know, George Carlin had an idea like that. He said what you do is you take the 4 states that are square, you know, like Arizona, Utah, and all those that are ones right next to each other.
Yeah.
You put like the violent murder offenders in one state and the pedophiles in one state, and then just you break them all up based on what they did. And then like once an hour for like 30 seconds, a little door just opens up in between the 2 fences. Or maybe you do it once a week or once a month.
Yeah.
And then you just televise all of it.
Let everybody see what's going on.
So like Hunger Games, basically.
Like Hunger Games,
Basically.
but real life.
Basically.
But real life for the
Basically.
criminals.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't say for criminals alone. You know, people have reasons to murder. But like doing like, you know, SA is not allowed in general. Like you have no reason to SA anybody.
No.
You have literally not a single reason to SA a soul.
38 seconds to catch on, but I caught on.
No, I can't say that, but you know what I'm saying? You really
can't.
can't. I believe murder could be justified sometimes.
Yeah.
50-50. SA is literally 100%, 0%. You have no reason to SA somebody.
Never.
Ever.
Bring it over.
So I feel like y'all should all be on the island together. Let's see how much SAs happen.
I want to applaud your father for the way that you think about that because
That's real.
And your mom. Don't get me wrong. She probably played a part in that too. But that's the way a man should think.
Yeah, facts. All those people together.
I got an idea similar to what y'all saying, but mine I think is more exciting.
You have a mic?
Nah, I don't need one. I'm gonna use the mic on that camera.
All right.
Why wouldn't we just like he said do the whole island thing? Just put them all on the island
Throw them there.
and keep like a Navy patrol so can't nobody swim off the fucking island. And just have lions, tigers, and bears and all types of shit just on the loose, no shelter.
Just a hella random
And
shit.
if you was tough as you was when you was SAing somebody,
When you was.
then do that to the bear.
Do it right now.
I'm going to ask you because I want your opinion on this.
Yeah.
I personally think that's the worst thing that you could ever do to somebody.
Ever.
Yeah.
Facts.
I didn't ask you, motherfucker. You are
Facts. I had to throw my input ever.
Let the lady speak.
Oh, are you gonna finish? You said you were gonna ask me.
I personally think that's the worst thing that you could do. Beyond murder or anything else, I think that that's the worst crime you can commit against another person is assault in that manner.
Yeah, see, I'm actually a criminal justice major, so it's like for the longest time I wanted to be the next Olivia Benson. But so I'm about to from SVU, Law and Order, Law and Order. Yeah, so
I just didn't know her name.
yeah, oh yeah, look, I'm a super fan. But honestly, like to watch and see how much it affects people. Like people do not think about that when they're acting, and most of the time too, the people who are committing these assaults, they have either been victimized themselves, so then they tend to act out, and then they inflict the same pain on others. And I think it's sick. Yeah, and it's really sick. I hate that. I really do.
Okay, so I have a kind of off-the-wall theory that since you're a criminal justice major, I'd like your opinion on.
Okay.
We hear about domestic violence all the time.
Yeah.
It is very common. It happens in ratios that equal men to women. Men show their aggression through anger. And the way they show their anger and their aggression is through physical outbursts.
Okay.
Whereas women generally, if you look at the psychology of it, they're not as strong physically. So generally women are far more abusive verbally.
Yeah.
And they attack you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think, under the same idea of how SA really just fucks with someone's mind,
Yeah.
I personally think that the mental and verbal abuse is way worse than the physical abuse. Now, don't get me wrong. Abuse is wrong in any form. I am not condoning any of it.
At all.
But I wonder how you feel. Do you think that... Because even when you have physical abuse, it's still the mental and the emotional abuse that happens afterwards that really fucks up women or men thinking about it because they're afraid, and that's the emotional abuse that they're feeling from getting their ass kicked.
Right.
Whereas women still do the same thing to their men without the physical violence because their verbal abuse will cut a man to his core and make him feel like nothing.
Exactly. And with myself and being a woman, I am the same way because it's like, what can hurt you? How can I inflict pain upon you? In words can easily do that because it's just like, well, I'm going to say this. And the moment I say that, you're just like, wow, why would you try to offend me or insult me in that way by using your words? And I think, like I said earlier, when it comes to like putting in work and doing certain things, and it comes with action. But without the actions, we tend to talk about things first before we even do them. So I think it's really crazy that we'll do that, but we tend to. I know I'm a victim. I'm guilty of doing that. I want to cut you where it hurts. So I want to say some things to make you feel the way that I feel, or to make you feel like you're hurting.
So hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people hurt people. No. For real.
So your idea.
Before you go any further, do you actually like get it started?
We'll get it started at some point.
No. I'll finish your question.
Yeah, we'll get it started.
I'll
Yeah.
get this conversation out right
Yeah.
All right. My question is why? All right. So I consider myself a good man. I'm not a nice guy. I'm a good man. Mm-hmm. I would never physically abuse someone, but I've had partners of mine verbally abuse me. Like, what is the rationale? Because I'm trying to understand it for myself because I apparently suck at dealing with women. I'm 40 and single.
Right.
So what is the rationale of trying to cut a man down like that?
It's a form of trying to provoke, or trying to, like I said, inflict pain upon you. So of course I'm going to try to hit you where it hurts. And like you said, like men, or I don't want to make it gender based, but the way we can kind of like affect you is, like I said, by using our words. I mean, I think that the ratio is extremely high because I know that I cannot. I may not be stronger than you, but my words can come off and hurt you more than me being stronger than you because you're a human being, so you also have emotions.
Mm-hmm. But would you want your man to do that to you? Because we have the same ability to cut you to the core and do the same thing to you to hurt us, or to hurt you the same way that you could hurt us.
No, because it's unhealthy.
Okay, so why is that something that you might believe, not that I'm asking you to speak for all women, but maybe your own experience or people you know, why is that sometimes a go-to? Because if a man hurts you, it's not always at the same point. It seems like women want to go that next level. Like, okay, you hurt me to 3, I need to hurt you to 4, or I need to hurt you to 7. I need to prove a point of how you need to understand what I'm going through.
And honestly, I think it's just a form of being reactive. Like the moment, like I said, like he said, hurt people. So the moment you inflict some type of pain on me physically, our go-to, I wouldn't say it has to be, but we use our words because you are stronger than me. So the only rebuttal and the response that I have is to be like, okay, well, I have to belittle you as a human being to make you feel how I feel because I'm not stronger to you. I can't take you out that way, but my words can make you feel some type of way.
Yeah, but that's if a man does get physical.
level. I'm talking about there are men out there that will never do that,
Okay.
and but they have the women in their life going, you know what? I need to cut you to the core and make you hurt because it almost, now I could be
Okay.
wrong, but it almost feels like you have to try to put, like, I am the top dog in this relationship and you're going to listen to me because I can really fuck you up emotionally, even if you have a good
Yeah.
man that's not going to do that to you.
Yeah. And honestly, too, it could be trauma based. It could be trauma based. You have to take that into consideration.
lot of it
It
is.
could be a thing to where it's just like, still, you haven't done anything to me physically, but I still want to feel like I'm the top dog, like you said. Like, I want to take control. So here I am. I'm going to belittle you as a human being and make you feel some type of pain. So, I mean, it's just,
So my question is then, how do we fix it?
how do we fix it?
How do we fix it?
Honestly,
Compatibility.
you know what? I've been huge on that lately. I've been huge on that
That's how
lately.
you fix it. If you look past all the shit that's shiny and find out what you're actually looking at, you'll find out if you're actually compatible. So a lot of people naturally, this is 90 some odd
Yep.
percent of people will naturally go off looks
Right.
before they realize, I don't even like this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time they don't like them, that's when verbal and physical abuse kick
It all
in.
starts coming out.
And then, so I think if you took more time to see, are you actually compatible with this person, then you'll less likely be in a situation where either one of y'all become abusive to each other.
Because you'll be able to catch things early on because you're
Yep.
looking so much deeper internally rather than
Yes.
physically.
Yes, and in a lot of ways you can do it. Like a lot of people say the same thing, where if you really want to know who you're dealing with, get them mad. Make them mad. And then that's who you're dealing with right then
Yep.
and there.
Yeah.
The first time you make them mad, they're going to show you their true colors. They can't help it. Piss them off, and they'll let you know how they feel. And that could work, or it could blow up in your face.
But part of the problem that I've noticed in the dating scene is, like, people are going to lie to you
Yeah,
about who they really
you
are
are
for
absolutely
a
correct.
long time, as
You-
long
it's
as
up to
they
you.
can get away with it.
It's up to you to see through lies.
No, it is. It is entirely up to us.
Because being gullible is a choice. I don't care what nobody says.
No, I agree.
That is a choice. You choose to be gullible, you choose to ignore signs. So,
The way that I do it is I don't put up with bullshit. Like, if you want to have a nice, rational conversation about something that is wrong, like, understand that I'm not what's wrong, you're not what's wrong. What the problem is what's wrong. How do we figure out how to work through the problem together?
Yeah.
And not enough people are, they always try to put their, problems and blame them on somebody else instead of understanding that you're not the problem. The problem is the problem.
Yeah.
But if anybody ever tries to do that to me, I'm out. Like, I notice that shit right away. I'm not putting up with that bullshit. If you don't want to have a nice, rational, honest conversation and talk like adults, I can do all this shit on my own.
But you know what? That's another thing too. I've noticed people struggle with openly communicating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like pulling teeth these days. Like, I'm asking you a question, but you're beating around the bush. Why not just be like, okay, be straightforward and be open and honest about it? Because what's the worst that can happen? Other
Okay.
than when you
people
just
try to
spoke your
spare
truth.
feelings, though.
All right.
I think there's a lot of people trying to spare feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
More or less, like you said, people lie and you don't know who they actually are.
Yeah.
So instead of them being upfront and being, what am I trying to say, very truthful in nature,
Yeah.
when it comes to opening up,
Mm-hmm.
they already in the habit of lying to you. They want to spare your feelings, so they keep up with already what is going on. Like, you already believe in this facade.
Exactly.
Now, I cannot be straightforward with you because I already got you on board with the facade.
Right.
So when it's time for me to tell you how I really feel, I can't. I have to tell you how the character feels, the character I play for you.
Exactly.
Okay. So I got a question for you then. So who do you think are better communicators, men or women?
Honestly, it's hard to say for me. Because
It
I
all
think-
depends on the person.
Yeah, it depends on who
does.
it is, the individual. Because I've witnessed both sides of, okay, well, are you telling the truth? It's just across the board. It depends on who the person is, how you were raised, what you believe in. It's a lot of things that you have to factor into it, into the person.
Because one of the things that annoys me is when I've gone to a partner before and be like, I can obviously tell something's wrong. Right? Like, you can tell something's
Yeah.
wrong. And what do they all respond with?
Ain't nothing wrong.
I'm
okay,
fine.
It's fine.
Cover it.
Everything's
I'm
good.
fine. It is a cover up. But that's not being open and
No.
honest in communication. Like you expect there are women out there that expect men to be mind readers.
Yep.
And at the same point, men do the same thing.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
We do the same thing because
All across the board.
one of the things women need to understand is that when we come home and we're in a shitty mood, it may have nothing to do with you. That just may have to do with what I got going on, and I don't want to burden you with the shit that I got going on. And women will put it on themselves like, oh, he's mad at me for something. No, hey, this is what's going on. Work fucking sucked today. I had 3 trucks break down. I had shit go wrong. I had 15 customers call me and be like, it's got nothing to do with you.
And honestly, I had a situation recently that kind of set me off because it was just like I was almost pulling teeth to get this person to be open and honest with me about what was going on. But it took for me to act a certain way. For a week later, you finally came around. I was just like, look, this is what this was. This is what this. Why couldn't you have told me that 2 weeks ago? Then I wouldn't be the person I am right now, and I wouldn't be upset. You wouldn't have to see that side of me if you would have just been able to openly communicate what was going on.
Here's one of the reasons that men are struggle with that is because when we become vulnerable with some of the women that we've been with, they then use that against us down the road. Like, I come to you and say, hey, I've got this problem at work. I've got this going on. And then a month later, when we're fighting about something that she did that upset me, she then throws the fact that I'm a giant pussy because I can't deal with my shit at work.
Right.
So why would then, at what point are we then encouraged to be open and honest when you just weaponize our own vulnerability against us?
Yeah.
So, I got a question. This is for you.
Okay.
So, have you ever had a man just break down and cry in front of you?
I'm trying to think, does family count? Or just
No,
like in general? No,
a man
family,
that you,
this man that I dealt
you were
with?
sexually engaged with.
Honestly, no.
You know why?
No. Because it make him look weak?
Yes, and yes, that has a lot to do with it, but it's not that. It's not the base answer. The base answer is, it's because I don't need you using that against me when you caught me while I was weak.
Yeah.
Right.
The question is, would you have felt less about him as a man if he broke down and cried in front of you?
And we're not talking like mourning.
No, like
or
bawling uncontrollably.
just talking to you, giving you how he feels, and he gets emotional and cries.
Are you
You almost laughed.
No. Listen. Because I would say, like, me 3 years ago, I would be like, oh my gosh, why are you acting this way? But who I am now, I know that people are human. We're all human. So it's like, when people break down, they're obviously going through something. So I'm not judgmental when it comes to that. But
us as men, we appreciate you thinking like that.
Yeah.
It's not common.
It's not. It's not. I know it's not.
Like I've told women, like after my divorce, I would rage cry to work. Like I would be listening to the most emotional, angry song that I could get, and I would have. But I did that shit in my car before, so no one could see me. And then by the time I got to work, no one knew any different because we're not allowed to show our emotions in front of other people. We're expected to suck it up and move on and figure out the problem and keep going.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But women are expected to do the same thing too.
Yeah.
We try to be emotional support, but half the time, I'm fine. Leave me alone. I'm good. I can handle it. Like, I don't. No offense to a woman, but I want you to lay your problems off on me. And I don't want to burden my problems on you.
Yeah.
That's how we feel, is we want to take all the responsibility because we want your lives to be easier. But when you don't tell us what the fuck is going on...
We want to take some of that off for you.
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
You know, we don't want all of it.
But it's hard.
No, it is. I think for myself, like, I've always felt like I had to be tough just because I'm little. I'm tiny. I'm real tiny, so I've always had to play like a tough role. So the moment when I lost my granny in January, the grieving process, it got to a point to where like I would almost be afraid to cry in front of people. And I remember being at the high school, and the moment I found out about what happened to her, I walked out, and one of my boys basketball players, he actually saw me, and during that moment I kind of felt like embarrassed. I'm like, oh, I hope he does not think that I'm weak. But that kid never said anything to me. If anything, he texted me and sent me a message like, I hope everything's okay. So during that moment, it made me feel like it's okay to show your emotions. Like, people are going to support you and not judge you. Even though we would make the assumption that people would judge you, because they do.
People do.
They do.
People do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But not
Human
everybody.
nature.
Yeah.
But not everybody. But the normalized thing to do is to judge
Mhm.
rather than to support. You know, so
And that's one of the things that I think is wrong with society anymore.
yeah.
And like JFK said years ago is don't ask what your country can do for you, what you can do for your country. I think that's a little too broad. I think it's more about don't ask what your community can do for you. What can you do for your community?
Right.
And that's what makes this the difference is understanding that like it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a community to help us all grow.
Yeah.
But we don't look at it like that. We're all out for our own fucking interests.
Yeah.
We don't give a shit about anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're too worried about dividing ourselves and understanding that we're all going through the same shit.
Same shit.
All going through the same shit.
I'm gonna cut it right there. It's perfect. So, let's not do what we did that one day. Let's actually do a fucking intro.
No, I got it. I already know how we're gonna go into all this
I
shit.
didn't-
We're gonna start
so
talking
we're gonna
about the
clip that.
podcast.
And
Yeah.
we're
That's cool,
actually,
that's
and what we'll do is, he gonna do an intro right now. We're gonna get into it. What we're gonna do is have you introduce yourself. You introduce yourself. Tell us about you.
Damn.
Tell us about you. It's Dayana. Like they can't say my damn name right. Dayana.
Skiles.
Styles.
Styles.
I got this.
Styles.
I'm working
No,
on it.
I just, hey, look, man, my memory sucks. We
Dayana
get into a
Styles.
yeah, Styles. All right,
Dayana.
so
I'm just gonna
no,
keep
I know
repeating.
I got the
Just keep
Dayana
repeating
part.
it. You gonna
I
make
just,
it hit.
at first I thought it was Sykes, and I'm like, man, she's not Wanda.
Styles. Styles.
Damn it,
Yeah,
Pat.
no, Styles.
Look, man, I have ideas. I don't know like people's names. It sucks. I know faces. I suck at names.
Now, how to like deep into the introduction that y'all want me to go? Like this real simple, like
So look, this is what
yeah.
we want you to do. I tell you what, have him go first. Cause Mari ain't gonna say much.
He ain't got shit to say.
I got a lot of shit to say.
But he ain't
No.
gonna say much.
No,
She got more to say than I do though.
Pass me that switch.
She got some real shit to say. I don't got no real shit to say.
oh, dude, there's one over on the
Everything
on the
I say
table.
is partially real.
Bandsaw
though,
over
real.
there.
Why is it partially real?
No, everything I say is the truth. But I'm saying most people don't agree with it.
So what? But
I
that's your
really don't
truth.
care. I'm gonna be better
That's
than
your
before.
truth, though.
It is
I'm
from
gonna be
before.
still fresh.
Yeah, I know.
I go down the street and get them from the gas station down the street to my house. Ain't never got fresh. This motherfucker been here for like 3 weeks.
At least.
You know what?
At least.
Yeah, that motherfucker broke on the end. It ain't fresh as I thought it was.
Man, I'm a pro
You don't smoke,
surgeryist.
Huh?
You don't smoke, do you?
Yeah, I do. I started. I quit drinking. I had to get that shit up.
Man, that
I cut back on drinking. I drink.
Is this like an intermission?
Yeah.
Yes.
I figured this
Yeah,
was.
get
This is
that
like.
shit.
This is nice. I like how
So
y'all
this
made
is
that
what
intermission.
it's gonna look like. How do we do this? So we just switch this to the starting song screen, and or no, we have to do the be right back.
The fuck
It ain't. Nah, you can't tell what's in that jar.
You probably really can't.
You can't. I'm looking at it right now.
I was gonna say you probably
gonna start it soon. Alright, no, he's still smoking. We're gonna put it back on the B
Let's get to it. We back.
Look, I know how to stick my foot in my mouth all the time.
We back and better than ever. This is the best podcast we ever
Hey,
had.
let me see. You know Kaylee, right?
Of course.
This is the female driver I got.
Shit.
Anyway,
Shit,
so-
of course I know Kaylee.
Shut up. So,
Of course I know Kaylee, Pat.
so here's how I fucked up with her. She ran something in her car, and I was gonna pay her the mileage. I got my mileage expense. I had the money, and she sends me a message. She's like, "Hey, when am I gonna get my mileage?" And my response was, "And what do I get out of this whole thing?" And then like 5 minutes later, I was like,
Wait a minute.
"Sorry, no, that's
I just hope you
tomorrow.
wouldn't
I'll have it for you tomorrow."
Pat, out of everybody, I hope it wouldn't be Kaylee.
That wasn't text, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, shit.
Out of
You said phone.
Hey, shout out to Alpha Bacon. Shout out to Alpha Bacon, but I hope out of everybody you wouldn't choose Kaylee, Pat. I just hope that
there
wouldn't be
was
the one you shoot
somebody
your
else
shot
at
with.
Alpha. Nah, it wasn't.
Like you're shooting the free throw. Yeah, I know Justin and Kaylee been fucking since I've been here.
No, she.
No, they probably really haven't, but they were on each other's dick.
Hey,
regardless.
yo, it don't matter. Let's start the show.
We on the podcast. Let's start it.
Alright, gang.
Facts. We back in better than that.
I'm gonna do a countdown. 1, go.
One good.
Welcome back to another show about everything. I am the honest asshole along with my partner in crime, Socrates. What up, man?
What up, bro?
All right, today we have Dayana Styles
Yo.
and Mari.
Facts.
That's what he rolling with.
Facts.
That's what he rolling with.
Facts. That's what we rolling with. Let's get to it.
What's going on, Mari? How are you doing?
Man, I'm feeling great.
Tell me about
we
yourself.
in a real, podcast realm right now. It's really going on.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's really going on.
Other than the air conditioning still on.
Other than that, I got that though.
Well, we're starting this over.
It was cool. We gonna keep that. That's raw. That's
Dude,
raw
I was
footage.
like, oh.
Yo, I know this
fuck.
not fake. This raw footage.
said that right now.
I know.
This is raw footage.
Bro, we
This
could have
is
went
raw
an hour
footage.
in, like,
For real, and not
bro,
even.
that motherfucker, I don't know.
This
It was
not-
kind of loud.
Mark, did you
It
turn it
was-
on?
It was loud, but this
And I
not.
feel it.
This not edited, bro. This not fake. This real podcast. We not scripted.
This is
none
on
of
Twitch right
this
now,
is
so
real
motherfuckers
shit.
get on Twitch and see all this
You
shit.
know what's going on. This real shit.
All right, gang, start it over.
Damn.
Come on, man.
No, all I can remember is we did a show with my mom. My mom was a special ed teacher.
Your
Yeah.
mom did a show with
Best
y'all.
episodes we ever did.
Yeah, special ed teacher for 35 plus
Yeah.
years. Like, it was great. And we get like 30 minutes into it, and he just goes, "Y'all are gonna hate me.
No, I
I ain't got no audio for
We
this."
talking, right? And I was like, y'all gonna be mad at me. And Pat not even paying attention to what I'm saying. He said, no, you can say whatever you want. We're not gonna be mad at you. I said, nah, bro, y'all really finna be mad at me.
No audio at all.
We had no
None.
audio track.
No
So it was like
audio.
a
For how
whole
long,
podcast.
though?
You just had to read our lips.
For how long?
30 minutes.
Damn! I thought you would have caught that like 5 minutes in.
Nah.
He's a dumbass sometime. All right, we ready again? Do I just start over? Do I need to give it?
Whenever you ready, you just punch right in.
Hold on, let me say it again. We back and better than ever.
Hey, how about you not
Show
say
about
facts
everything.
15 times
Facts.
in the first couple seconds of
This
the
show about everything. Facts. This show about everything. Facts. This is where you come for the facts. This
So
no
do I
opinion.
even need to
It's
introduce
facts.
him?
Pat, this is facts. You know what's going on, man. Let's get it started, Pat.
All right.
Y'all ready for this?
Dude, I was right there too. Facts.
We got a whole viewer in the chat. Hey, whoever the viewer is, shout out to. Facts.
First me. I'm watching it on the Mac.
God damn it, Dad. You should have made the moment special. You should have made the moment special. We talking to the damn viewer. We not talking to you. You don't gotta admit you the viewer. Shout out to the viewer either way though, bro. Like, come on, bro. Shout out whoever active in the chat, bro. I'm posting this chat on my Snapchat later.
This motherfucker talk like a streamer. Shout out to the chat. What up, chat? Hey, yo,
What's up, chat?
Dude, hype man. That's what I'm telling you,
I'm
man.
for real. I'm telling you, I keep it lit.
Facts.
Let's get into it.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Show about facts.
The show about facts.
Show about everything.
All right. Welcome back to another show about everything. I am the honest asshole along with my partner in crime, Socrates. What's up, man? All right, today on this episode we have Dayana Styles
Yo.
and Mari.
Facts. You know that. You know that.
Man, there's something
You know
wrong
that
with
right
you.
here, man.
That's him.
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
Let's hear how you doing. 'Cause I'm doing great, regardless
You
of what's
good?
going on.
I'm vibing. I keep saying it like you keep saying facts, just because that's
Facts.
how I feel.
Facts. That's how I
Full
feel.
of life right now. honestly.
Everything real.
Glowing.
All
Good.
facts.
Yeah.
All facts.
This is your hype man. He not lying.
All facts.
He just agreeing with us. She not lying.
She not lying. All facts.
Facts.
Everything she said going on been going on for a minute now.
Yeah.
Facts. You just ain't caught on.
All right, since you ain't got so much intelligence at shit to say right now, we're gonna move on to Dayana.
Alright, cool. What's going on?
Facts.
All right, we brought Dayana on because she's got her own podcast. What's the name of it again?
This life is a process of learning.
Say it again. So
This life is a process of learning.
Facts.
So what? You've been doing it for a little while now. You said since 2020, right?
Yep.
And you said you've been going through a few things. What's been going on in your life?
Ooh wee. I'm not gonna start from 2020, but what I will say, I got started. I think it was during the pandemic, doing a podcast, and I was really just like spending a lot of time alone, trying to figure out some things I wanted to get into. And people used to always compliment me on like me having a way with words. So I read the 4 Agreements and it changed my life. It's, that's a book, so I recommend everybody read that. But it kind of just put things in life into a different perspective for me. So I wanted to just get out there.
So what was the book? Do you know who wrote it?
You know what? I do not know the author. That's
It's all right, doesn't matter.
Right there.
We can tag it in there.
Tag it on there. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's sad, but I need to know it if I'm gonna promote it. I need to know the author. But basically, I just like dove into like wanting to be a voice. I was posting like videos and all types of stuff to promote this positivity. But what else did you ask? You asked me
What kind of brought you to where you're at now?
Oh yeah, life.
Yeah.
Life. Even then, I just spoke about starting during the pandemic, but since the pandemic, I would say the last 6 months have been the toughest 6 months, and it's all going to pay off. I lost my grandmother, so I've been grieving, and that process is just different. It's a process of learning, for real. So,
Yeah.
with losing her, that's the thing that's been, the most traumatizing thing I feel like I've experienced so far in life. But now I'm on the uprise, trying to get back to myself, knowing that I'll never be the same.
Why was she so important to you?
Well, she raised myself and my brother and 6 of my cousins in a 3-bedroom trailer.
Damn.
In a smaller little city, but she didn't have to do that. Our parents went off, had to do some time or whatever, and she just took us all in. But she was there from the moment I picked up a basketball to the moment I went to my first college, then transferred, from me graduating to get my first job, to get my first car. Like literally, she was there for every single thing I ever done. So the moment I lost her, it was just like my soul was just stripped from my body, and I started to just exist and not live any longer because she was really important in my life. So
Yeah.
I had to learn how to live again, for real.
No, I get that. Like the same kind of thing happened to me when I got divorced. Like my whole life fell apart. I felt like I wasn't, worth anything. I felt like everything was gonna it just wasn't worth living anymore. It's a shitty spot to be in.
Yeah, no, it's tough. And I think it needs to be discussed more, because prior to feeling how I feel, I would have never known like the real process of trying to grieve. You know what I'm saying? But having somebody so important in your life removed, like I said, I had to learn how to live again. It started to be simple questions somebody would ask me, and I'd be like, feeling like I needed to call her, knowing I cannot call her. That's the fucked up part, because it's just like, damn, I no longer have that person that's gonna be like, yep, nope. And at one point in time, I kind of felt selfish. I'm like, damn, I didn't know how much I really counted on her. I really went to her for every single thing. So now it's just like, she's been telling me, push your podcast, get on video, use your talents. You're very talented. You're very pretty. You're this, my biggest supporter. So now that I'm starting to see the light again, I'm like, let me start pushing the stuff she really told me I needed to be doing, because I know it's some importance to come out of this. And I know I'm going to be blessed. I can feel it.
Do you have any idea what helped you change your perspective and kind of get out of that bad place?
A lot of self-reflection. A lot of dark times. I really just had to look myself in the mirror and be like, this is who you are right now. A lot of us tend to neglect pouring into ourselves. And the more we neglect ourselves, the darker the space becomes. And it really took me to just be like, this has happened. I had to accept the bad shit that has happened to me because, yeah, it's bad, but in some way, some shape or form, like it's really forming us into the person that we're supposed to be. Because I believe that I wouldn't be as hungry as I am right now if my granny didn't pass. I kind of would have still been complacent and still going to her for everything instead of learning how to live on my own.
Real shit. I like that.
Fact.
I mean, we're all works in progress.
Yeah,
Every single one of us. We all got stuff that we can work on.
right.
And sometimes we have to go into, I heard this say, once you hit rock bottom, there's only one way to go.
Yeah,
And a lot of people have hit that point, but they don't know how to get themselves out of it. For me, like this podcast is that for me. And it sounds like your podcast and what you want to do is kind of the same thing.
exactly. Yeah, because this life is a process of learning. That's so fire to me. If y'all,
Yeah, no, it's a dope ass title. I love it.
and you know, I got it from my girl Lauren Hill. I love Lauren Hill.
You kind of look like
I
Lauren
love
Hill right
Lauren
now
Hill.
from the.
I love Lauren Hill. She's just fire. And what she stands for is like if people listen to her music, she's for the people.
Oh, for sure.
The reason
That's why
she
stopped
left,
doing music.
that's why she left the music
Facts.
That's why
industry.
she
The moment they
left.
try to
They
put her in
wouldn't
a, as soon as they try to put her in her box, and
Big
she wasn't
facts.
She was
feeling
like,
it,
you know what?
she didn't want to be
Whatever,
normal.
I'm out.
I'm gone. You're not gonna take my
You can't make me
authenticity
what you
and
want me
really use my work. Y'all want me to sound a certain way? I'm done with this shit.
to.
But this life is a process of learning. I got it from her, but it's so true. For a long time, I was just like, you know, we start to live and we go through the motions. We do the normal things, and you know, and I got to a point to where I was like, damn, this is really happening to me. I started to be like, do not make assumptions. Do not take things personally. You know, apply this to that. If you go into work and they're upset, do not immediately think that it's you and that you're the problem. Some, like even with my kids that I work with now, the moment they come in school, if they have an attitude, they're not mad at me. They probably didn't eat last night. You know what I mean? It's things like that. This life is a process of learning. So I love my podcast. I love to do it because I can get on there and just be real about any emotion or thought, anything that I'm having. So that's why I appreciate what you guys are doing here, the show about everything, because honestly, this life is a process of learning, and then this is the show about everything. So all that shit really intertwines. You know, it's all aligned. So,
And we really appreciate that because that's
Yeah.
what we want to do is we want to help people. We want to talk through these things and try to, like, exactly what you're saying. Like, life is it's a great title. It's so
Yeah.
great because it does really tie into what we want to do too. Is you know, we all have shit that we're going through. We all have things that we don't know what the
Big
fuck
facts.
is going on. Like
Yeah.
we're all just trying to. The biggest problem we all have is we're existing and we're not living.
Literally.
no.
And I hope for you that you kind of take a lot out of this because being what 20, 19, like you got your whole life ahead of you. Like I'm over twice your age, man. I wish I knew some of this shit back when I was at your age and I could follow and listen and understand.
Listen,
Facts.
I'm not going to lie. And this is how you know the world and stuff we live in. You walking into a room reminded me of, like, I used to work as a caseworker. And they used to send me to do cases and represent clients in Tazewell County. So the moment I walked in there for, like, the first time with not being from Peoria, I'm not familiar of knowing what areas.
Yeah,
so
you
I
don't know
walk
who's
in,
where.
you don't know what's going on. So I walk in there and here I am with my locks and I'm just looking around. I'm like, wow, I wonder if this is a normal thing. So in the courtroom, I believe I could tell by the first time I spoke, I'm just like, oh, they're in shock. That's the same vibe he gave me because walking in here, you would look at him and be like, his hair or whatever. You could just immediately put him in this box of thinking he
Big
knows
facts.
nothing.
Big
Whole
facts.
time I'm impressed with him. There's kids his age now, and I'm just like, whoa, he can really teach y'all something.
Literally.
So this kid is educated. He knows some stuff. So that's why I'm glad he is here. Because the older he gets, the wiser you're gonna become. That's fire.
Facts.
That's fire.
And that's one of the things we do is we judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Literally everybody.
Like, yeah, all the time.
Everybody. You can't. Everybody gotta admit to it. You do.
Yeah.
You see a random black kid walking down the street with a hoodie on in the summer. You think it's bad vibes. He might be the smartest person you ever meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even know. 'Cause
You feel me? You
found
see a
out.
white kid with glasses on.
Well,
You think it's a geek? He might be just a chill person.
He got bad.
He might be he might have bad eyesight. You feel me? It might be something small as that.
That's
You
all
would
it
never
is, but, like,
know. Don't judge a book by its cover.
And that's the thing is, right now society has got us so divided.
Mhm.
Black,
Very,
white,
too much.
whatever your ethnicity is,
Definitely.
whatever
Way
religion you
too
follow,
much.
whatever politics you believe. Like, you know, if we all just had a conversation and stopped judging everybody,
Every day.
because I'll tell you what, we shouldn't judge anybody ever, because if you actually looked in the mirror and went, what's all the fucked up stuff that I've done?
Big facts, Pat.
You'd be sitting there going,
Big facts, Pat.
do I really want to be around this
Right.
person?
Let me see this out.
It like she said, self-reflection, bro. It's the biggest thing in life ever.
People in
Ever.
glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Mhm.
And we
Once
all...
you- Once you notice what you got wrong, you stop judging everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You feeling like
Facts.
you a human too.
'Cause we
They a human too.
Yeah.
How could you judge them? Regardless of what you do, facts. How could you judge somebody? It's their life. You live in your life. You make your own decisions. You wouldn't let nobody judge you by your decisions, but you judging them by theirs.
Yeah.
You could
That's
never do that ever.
That's true.
And stop making it a double standard. Stop judging people.
We're projecting.
Yep.
You feel me? And there's no skin color. at
Yeah,
all.
we're deflecting and projecting. Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, they two different things, but it's the same thing.
It's the same thing if you
Exactly.
make it the same
So,
thing.
okay.
Yeah.
I agree with that, and I just think like as a people,
Mm-hmm.
we just need to learn more empathy.
Yes.
Right.
Literally.
And
Facts.
that affects us.
Put yourself in everybody's shoes.
There you go. Okay, so
Do that every time, every day you wake up. Do that.
No, for real.
Stop judging everybody.
What?
Put yourself in everybody's shoes.
Mhm.
And I started like, for myself, I have a habit like when I'm with my friends, everybody wants to gossip. They want to say this and unfortunately, the way to create conversation or a vibe, people feel like they have to throw somebody underneath the bus first. So they'll be like, oh, did you see this person with that
Yeah.
person? And oh, it's just like, dang, what you eat for lunch today? Like, why does it have to be that? But I've learned and I've told my friends, I call it messy. So the moment I say messy, I'm telling you, no, you're being messy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that, that's me projecting that, listen, I don't want to
Bring that
associate
shit
myself
around
with,
here.
I don't want to gossip.
Stop
Keep
comparing yourself
Keep
above
that,
everybody.
yeah,
with
keep
that.
that, yeah.
Let's
Keep that
not
away from me.
above
I don't want to
everybody.
even associate myself with it, but it's
Yeah.
so easily for us to be
Yeah.
drawn into it because it's so normalized.
because
we're
most
used to
it's
it.
people
normal.
don't protect their energy.
Right.
And I can go in on a conversation about this for 4 hours without letting somebody in. I'll make it real short. By protecting your energy, you protect your essence, and you actually are benefiting people around you,
Yes.
not just yourself, by protecting your energy. So if you let somebody with bad energy enter your atmosphere, your personal atmosphere, that shit is contagious.
No, it is.
Yeah.
And it eats up your whole atmosphere. So when you protect your energy, you cannot pass that bad energy on. That being said, the messy ones. I've been learning as of late to tell people, man, your energy is throwing mine off.
Yep.
And I separate myself from that
Have to.
person.
Have to.
And I'm not talking like I'm not dealing with you no more. No, I don't care if I gotta go to a different room
Yeah.
from you or a different. I can get in my car and go somewhere, whatever.
Yeah.
I get away from negative energy. It's just contagious and it engulfs you.
Mm-hmm.
You're 100% right. The only different tactic that I try to take is I try to give them an opportunity to turn into being more positive.
Correct.
Exactly.
You feel me? Correct
Because
yourself. Yeah.
we're trying to help each other. Like, instead of just cutting out those negative people, hey man, why are you complaining all the time? You know what's so wrong? Like, do you understand that people don't wake up today? Like, if they're willing to be listened and open to being grateful for what they've got, I believe it's our responsibility to try to convert as many people as we can. Some people you just can't fucking help.
Literally.
But I woke up this morning. God willing, I'm going to wake up tomorrow.
You woke up and you walk.
There are going to be thousands of people that don't. Like there's a story that I've heard. It's like a guy and his wife are fighting, and he's at work and he's his buddy tells him, he's like, you know, what's going on? He's like, oh, you know, when I get home we'll figure this out. After he tells him the whole story, and his buddy's like, who told you that? Who told you were going to make it home?
Who told you?
You don't know if you're going to die in a car accident. You don't know what's going to happen. You can die of a heart attack tomorrow.
Literally anything. The worst shit can happen to you. Excuse my language, but the worst could happen.
Now you want to just use your language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst could happen here.
You said it so quickly.
Man, a big ego bring bad energy.
No, for real. And I feel like a lot of people are not so.
Yes,
I
I understand what you were saying, bro. And yes, as a human being,
Some people aren't work. You can't say.
you should want to help somebody out of that place that they're in mentally, or it could be spiritually.
Yeah.
But if you can't, I will not have you contaminating my space.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to protect my peace.
You're 100%
I'm
right.
going to protect my peace. Like, if your energy is throwing me off, I promise you, as of late, this is exactly what I tell people, man. Your energy all off. And I get the fuck away from you.
But sorry.
No, go ahead.
Now listen to this though. Listen to this. I had a friend of mine get upset with me because I said weird. I said you're always addressing them about weird energy. In the sense of when I meant weird, meaning that you're changing, you're acting differently, you're doing things that are unusual, strange. Not in the fact to try to attack your character or who you are, but I'm letting you know right now you're not giving the energy that needs to be given to me where I'm at.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, reciprocate.
yes, and because I didn't take the time to really break that down, that ties into what you're saying. It's like, well, how would they know if I kind of just shut them out and didn't address the fact like this is why your energy is weird.
Yeah.
So I get both perspectives.
Yeah.
I understand both perspectives.
And
Yeah,
I agree with what he was saying too. Like, yeah, but
There's a middle.
If I was to tell you your energy is off, that is me having the conversation that we need to have about your energy right now. I cannot change anything about you.
Yeah.
But the only
You are in
question.
charge of change.
But the only question is, are you giving them an opportunity to show you that they're changing?
Shit. When I say your energy off, that's your opportunity right there. That's your opening. That's an open-ended statement.
Big facts.
You can defend yourself.
Yeah, but sometimes the thing is we don't know that we're fucked up.
And that's true. That's very true. When you fucked up, it's hard to know that you fucked up because you're going through the shit that's got you fucked up.
Man, being self-aware the best thing you do on earth.
Yeah.
Just be
I
self-aware.
told you
Man.
that, my boy.
Just be self-aware. Like, stop judging everybody. Just be self-aware. You do what everybody else do. Big fact.
Yeah, but
Big facts.
another point I can make too, like with my friend, okay, we've already had the conversation about you being weird. So the moment you start to act weird, yes, I'm going to separate myself. Now, but listen how it ties into it though. I'm not done.
Let her finish.
I'll separate myself, right? So here we go. I'm going to try again. A few days later, if I make a phone call or two and you give me no response, that means that you're back to acting a certain way because you have some shit going on.
Same
so I'm
way.
going to separate myself.
There
So
you
I'm
go.
coming back, giving you the opportunity, but the moment that it's just like, you're still refraining from it, then I have to go back to protecting my energy and separate myself again.
Okay, I agree with that. What I'm saying when I say separate myself when your energy is off, I don't mean I'm done dealing with you.
Yeah.
I can come out around you the same day.
Yeah.
I don't have to wait.
Right.
It's just right now, my energy is more important to me than yours is to
It
me.
has to be.
Correct
So
yourself.
I call me selfish. I gotta live this life I live.
Listen.
I'm in control of how I manipulate the life I live. A lot of shit is out of my control, but what I can control is where I'm at.
For real.
So if your energy's off and I don't if I came in here and it just felt like, hey, something ain't right, I'm not gonna stay here. I gotta leave.
I have to go.
It's the conversation
So
for me.
I'll give you the opportunity later to fix this. I'm not saying when I say your energy is off, I'm out of here. and I'm
No,
fucked.
no.
No, I
So
know.
that
No,
being said, I agree with you. Give
I
the
just-
person a chance, but at the moment, protect your energy. My energy is like one of my children, and I'm gonna protect them at all
Well,
costs.
you're right. We only have so much energy in the day. I have no time for hate because I ain't got time to hate nobody else because I ain't got the energy for all that
You'd
shit.
be doing something else.
But I think the way we can all agree with it is compromise. Or it's communication.
Both.
Communication.
Otherwise,
Like
issue. Yeah.
you can sit there and go, hey, look, I don't know what's going on, but right now, like, this is not how I'm fucking with you.
Right.
Like, you are in whatever state that you're in. I don't want to engage in this gossip and this controversy. I'm going to communicate with you and be like, look, this is why you're fucking me up.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around you, so either we can change this shit right now, or I'm going to have to go do something else.
And then, too, we have to think how it affects us. Is this effect and how you're acting going to make me feel that negative energy? So the moment that I know that I'm going to feel some type of way about it and it's going to affect me emotionally, that's when I have to go back into that. I have to protect my energy because I don't want to be in that mental space of feeling like I'm being in my feelings or I'm sad and feeling all these different emotions. Because like you said, I don't have time for hate. I don't have time for that either.
Yep.
Because it's so much more to life than just that.
Yeah. So much more.
And you got a point. So when you pour more into a situation than it's worth, then you just drain your own energy.
Draining.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my point when I say, God damn it, for real. That's my opinion. That's what I mean when I say you gotta protect your energy.
No, I understand what you're saying.
When I say protect my energy, I'm not talking about the physical energy it takes for me to work out.
No.
Physical energy to do it. I mean my essence.
Emotional
I mean
energy.
I don't believe in
Sanity.
spirits as in like ghosts and demons.
Oh, I do.
I believe in those being energies, good and negative, positive and negative energy, not good and negative.
Yeah.
Positive and negative energy. So when I say protect my energy, that's my essence. That's what you may call a soul. I'm gonna protect my soul. I'm not gonna let you contaminate it.
No.
No matter who it is, it could be a loved one, it could be a stranger, it could be a coworker, it could be just somebody you just know, a neighbor, whatever. You can't get in here or here
At all.
because there's a barrier.
No.
And you can't get through that for me. That's just for me as a person.
I totally understand, and I don't disagree. How about you?
No. I made my point.
All right.
Yeah.
Facts.
So since we
Facts.
are talking about communication,
Facts. Everything's facts.
since we were talking about communication, I want a woman's opinion on this. Who do you think is better communicators, men or women? And I don't want to say it's always men are better, always women are better. I was just on an average. What do you think?
To me, I'm always going to give you that neutral response. I'm not going to say always, but for the most part, when it comes to this particular question, I will say that because I feel like in different rooms, in different areas, different conversations, things may appear to be differently. It just depends on who's a witness to it because I may not know right away that, okay, yes, you're great at communicating.
Facts.
You may be able to catch on at some point, but we all work at different speeds, different areas, different times, it's never all at the same time. So I feel like it's kind of just neutral to be like, yes, you're a better communicator than I am, or this person is. I think it just depends on the individual.
I think we all suck at it.
Oh shit! I mean shit.
Man, if you get my opinion on it, it's real. Like it's men from a standpoint. If you give them the credit for the cry for help at the beginning, men will start off with hands. They not gonna cry. Like they not gonna completely. Like a man won't jump out his shell because you're gonna judge him. Like we talked about earlier, you're gonna judge him if he come out off his soft. At first he gonna be like, I don't like you doing that shit. He gonna come off as a harder person, right? But it's really a cry out for help. Most women don't notice it. He's asking you not to do it in an aggressive way so he don't come off as soft. And then once he comes off as soft, that's when you start judging him, and then that's when everything go downhill.
I think
you made a good point.
No, you're right.
A man cry for help always.
To make him the better communicator, I just want to make sure I'm hearing you right.
Yeah.
To make him the better communicator, you're saying he's actually introducing the conversation before they have it. So
Facts.
by leaving those hints, he's opening a door to a conversation had she wanted to have it. Is that? No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, no, you saying it right.
Okay.
And this go for every situation, not even just women. R.I.P. to the suicide victims this year. Every man killed himself. You feel me? Or the unalive ones, it's always a cry for help. It's never really saying what you want to say. Most men, like me, I wouldn't, but most men pride, they'd never really get to the point they were trying to get at. They'd just start off with a cry for help.
So
I like that.
I love your point. I think I want to take it a slightly different way. Is because most of the men that I know is we will be a little more communicative at the beginning. Like we'll talk about our job or we'll talk about our day and how a woman responds to us will determine how much more we give.
Reflect on the future.
Because if you're not willing to listen to how my day's going and what's going on with me, and you just shut me out, I'm not going to tell you anything else anymore.
At all.
And I think women are the same way. Because when women are getting into relationships, they'll do the same thing. Be like, hey, this is how I feel about something. And if a man shuts them out and doesn't want to listen to them, they do the same thing. They start to shut down just like we do. We all need to work on our communication. I think we all need to be better listeners.
I agree.
Because most people are doing is listening to respond instead of trying to understand the other people, which goes back to what you were saying. We need more empathy. Like, if you really say you're in love with someone, you should want to listen to everything that's going on in their life. Because if you don't really fucking care.
You know what I think, though, about that? I think it go from listening to an argument. Everybody think listening is an argument. Somebody expressing their feelings to them. Like, girls, like, you'll tell them, like, what's going on for real, and they think you're trying to argue.
Men do the same thing.
Everybody, humans in general, it's all the same feelings. We all got feelings. It's no different spelling for it or nothing.
You're not listening, you're reacting.
Reacting is more reaction than listening.
Okay, so this
Big
is personal experience. So, you know when I met your mom, I was 14, right?
Facts.
Your mom used to always give me those dreaded words, and for the longest time, I knew how to dodge them. She used to always say, we need to talk. And me not wanting to talk, I learned how to avoid it. But then I finally heard her out one day, and I was like, this shit been trying to do the whole time? This is easy. Just give me a list of shit to stop doing or start doing.
So what do you think we do as men wrong in the eyes of a woman when it comes to this type of situation?
Full honesty.
Yeah, I think honesty is key, and I'm learning that from both sides, like on for men and women. I think that we both struggle with being honest, because to be honest means that I have to tell you the full truth and whatever that looks like, and I have to dive deep into my emotions, and I have to consider, well, how is this going to make you feel if I am being honest? Because the one time in my life I thought, look, let me be honest, the situation is going to turn out just fine. The moment I spoke up about it and said my piece, you would have thought the world was ending, because it was just like, whoa,
Facts.
hold on. You mean to tell me this is what you're going to do? And in my head, I'm thinking like, yes, I did it. I'm honest. I'm giving myself a pat on the back. And in return, it's just like, no, you're tripping.
Wrapped
You
up.
could have. So you would have. But listen. You would have rather me kept this from you then, and then what? Then you find out later on, now I'm not being honest.
What I said earlier, protecting the feelings.
Yes.
So
So
what have you learned from your experiences? So, like, a lot of people want to pull back into a shell and not say anything and not do anything. Do you think that serves you better or worse than being upfront and honest?
Oh, no. I think it serves you worse not to be upfront and honest, because I would prefer you be honest with me so you don't send me looking for stuff to the point to where I'm just like making assumptions and, you know, just be upfront and honest with me. Granted, the truth can hurt, but the truth is the truth. It can hurt. It can tear you down. But I would rather you tell me what's going on.
But
I want to know.
that's a mature mindset, though.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, around my age of like 19, girls rather not hear the truth, because then it's up. In their words, it's up.
Do you want to hear the fucking truth too?
I ain't gonna lie. Me being how mature I am in the mind, you might think I'm capping, but I'd rather hear the truth. I'll leave a girl alone. I done left several girls alone. I ain't try to get back or nothing, but I know girls my age at 19 is city girl life. You gotta get back. Your man tell you the truth. You be honest. You act like it's cool. Girls act like it's cool. They want. If they nice up. Now your man's on the list. You don't. But if you tell a man the truth, most men, like, if he really listening to you, and you know your man will listen to you, everything will change, bro. He'll leave you alone by himself. He'll leave you alone by himself. He'll leave the situation alone.
But the thing is, if you have a good woman, they'll do the same thing.
Facts. You don't play with a good woman. You don't find good women.
So it's not the fact that women are not good or men are not good, because good is a preference.
Preference, big fact.
Good is always going to be a preference.
Yeah.
Big facts.
Because it's not
What's good to you?
Are women and men, instead of trying to be good, are they actually real? That's what you need. You don't need good, you need real.
Facts.
That's what it comes down
Because
to.
we're trying to
Facts.
figure out how to get the truth out there from the opposing sex or just spouse in general. So if we are all real, then the truth is always out there.
Exactly.
Always.
But if you're good, then that's when you lie.
Because good is just good enough. Because good is always
Good is good
Yeah.
enough. You said it right. Good is just good enough.
So
That's a
when
really
you-
good point.
When you say good men, good women, shit, you could be a good woman to him, but not to me.
That's facts.
Real though.
Because what does he prefer?
Right.
If you're real, the truth always has to come out.
It's always going to be
And
that.
if you're good, maybe he prefers the truth, but I don't. And you can readily identify that.
Right.
Easy.
You can look at it like, well, he can't handle this truth. So I'm going to sugarcoat it or not tell the truth at all.
Man,
But
fuck
he can handle it, I'm going to tell him.
Easy.
Don't sugarcoat
That's
shit.
but that's being
You're right.
good.
No, you're right.
Being real, you got to tell the truth all the
So I
time.
have a question.
Always.
Do you think that at some point, if it doesn't start out to be that way, that it can develop into that type
Yes.
of?
Yes.
Okay.
I think, okay, so.
It all depends on one thing. Go ahead.
The person.
Before I say anything.
The person. Easy.
It's something Chris Rock said. He said, Chris Rock had a thing. He's like, look, relationships are easy when both people are working.
Easy.
If you're both working towards it, you can move a couch with two people real easy. It becomes really hard when only one person is trying to move that fucking couch. So it's whether or not your partner is willing to work with you to grow as a couple or not. Like if you're the only one putting in any work, get rid of that fucking bum.
That's easy.
Check it out, check it out.
That's easy. Facts. That's facts.
Good old facts, not facts.
We go fast. Get rid of that
So
bum.
put it in like layman terms.
It's a show about facts.
We had this great sensation called a fucking power couple. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was like, this is a power couple. Will Smith, Jada Pinkett. Nah.
Look at him. Do your research.
That was one of the first ones that were projected because if you go back to my grandparents, back in,
Social media.
all right, okay, all right.
Yeah. Do your research.
I got you.
I'm talking like they came up with certain couples that were power couples, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now to put that
Bill and Hillary Clinton.
those are the good men and the good women. Then you have these couples that lasted before that was a thing, and they were still a couple
Yeah.
with no controversy, at least not publicly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the real ones.
Oh yeah.
So I take real over good in the game. When you talk about a good man and a good woman, take a real man and a real woman and put them together. I can guarantee you ain't gonna know shit about their life.
Yeah. You ain't
They'll
wrong.
know everything about each other, but you won't know shit about them.
You ain't wrong.
See, the power couples are the good men and the good women teaming up to make it look good
Yeah.
for the people.
They make it look good, but it ain't always good.
Yeah, they're not
Stop
really
looking in
around.
from the outside.
Who?
Stop looking in from the outside.
Oh, you said so fast. I thought you
Yeah,
said
nah, he
Stop
was
looking in
he
from the
said it
outside.
really good.
Like Pat said, stop judging the book by its cover. It's really looking in from the outside.
But you know what? That's the
You ain't even opened the book
people
yet.
do. They just want to read that book.
You feel me?
If they don't have access to it, they create the lines.
It's
Nobody
sad.
want to dig deeper to the
They
real.
create that story.
Yeah.
And you gotta live up to it now.
But that's
Got to.
That's
the
what
power couple.
But that's what social media has done to us. Because everybody wants to show everything and how great they are, but the people who are always projecting that shit are usually the fucking unhappiest.
I'm shocked at how much it has changed over the years since I've been in high school. So I graduated, 12 years ago? No, 10 years ago. And my thing is this. 9, 10 years ago. But listen though. The stuff that I see.
I am old.
Listen, the stuff I see on TikTok and on Facebook now would have never been shown. You would have never seen anything like that. Because you take somebody like myself and sexuality, you talk about sexuality now, these kids to me these days, they have it so easy to be like, well, you would make the assumption because on social media, you're able to show certain things that you weren't able to do back then because it's allowed. based on the time change in social media. Social media to me right now is one of the biggest influences on our younger generation. So they out here carrying and doing things that they think they should do because of social media and the images that it portrays.
They think they'll get famous.
Yeah,
They think it's easy.
Social media is ruining parenting.
You know, Facebook wasn't even
Cancel
around.
your own damn parents. You ever thought of that? You can cancel your motherfucking parents for whooping your ass for doing some stupid shit because you did some stupid shit. The motherfuckers don't want to hear what you did.
Oh, no.
You get your ass whooped and now your parent is child abuser because they trying to teach you right.
I saw
Because they
this.
motherfucking love you. It's crazy.
There was, I think it was Steve Harvey. I don't remember what show it was, but there was a guy in like Iowa or Minnesota or something. His daughter got kicked off the bus for bullying somebody else. And he made her walk to school 5 miles in 30-degree temperature because if she's going to get her ass kicked off the bus
For bullying.
then this was her punishment. He drove behind her the entire way, and then he filmed it and put it on social media. And there were people out there like, oh, that's not right. You shouldn't be doing shit like that. You know, that's embarrassing your kid. What do you think your kid was doing? That kid was doing to somebody else. Like, I got bullied all the time. How do you think that kid felt being fucking humiliated
Same parent
on a
who
bus?
do that. They kids be belittled. No, I'm saying the same parents who do that, who make it seem like you in the wrong, they be the same kids that be belittled. Act like they not. People act like they're not humans because how your parents act. You know, you don't correct the bad kid behavior for real. Your kid is not a victim to you. Your kid is really in the wrong. Why are you getting bullied? Why are you getting bullied in the first place?
So this is my thing right here. I feel like that's a common case of a cycle. And that's not a good idea. That's not a good punishment. Reason being, your child bullied some child on the bus, right?
Easy.
So you bully them. How does that fix bullying?
Okay.
You being the parent, you're bullying them. Nope, I could give you a ride. I'm gonna show you how bad I can give you a ride. Because I'm gonna follow your ass to school while you walk in a car with the heat on.
Easy.
That's bullying.
Easy.
That's bullying at its finest. So this is me as a parent. And I'm not the best parent in the world. I'm not saying follow my fucking advice and like, share, subscribe. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I know the best way to raise a child is to treat them like a person.
A human.
People, you know what I mean.
A human.
You understand that your children will grow up to be adults. Don't treat them like adults. Treat them like what the adult looks like that you want them to be. So you don't want your child to be bullied. So you punish them for bullying somebody by bullying them the same trauma that that person that they bullied they got from you. And imagine somebody you thought was going to protect you bullied you for a stranger.
It's just double trauma.
What do you think?
But the only thing I want to say with that is I do not disagree with that. But my spin on it, and actually like we're working with these kids these days, and I shouldn't even say it like that, but I keep comparing it to my time. And that's something I had to learn too. I had to stop doing. I didn't have to stop, but I made the choice to stop comparing.
Yes.
Because I'm learning that with my boys in basketball, the discipline aspect of it. Because I feel like in certain instances, such as making them get out the car and walk, you know,
that would work for us.
You feel me? And with these kids these days, some of them need that discipline to be like, look, you cannot just get away with what you want to, because a lot of them are taking advantage of that now. So that discipline and the lack of discipline, they're taking that and they're eating it. And I've noticed that with basketball. My players, okay, cool. So you mean to tell me that if I miss today, I still get to play in the game tomorrow? Oh,
that's a different
yeah,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, oh,
yeah, I like that.
So no discipline, no results. So I'm going to miss.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not saying not to punish the child for bullying. Don't bully them back.
Right.
That's all I'm
yeah,
saying.
but no, I was just
no, but you're right. What you said was a prime example of the right way to do shit. If you shouldn't be playing the game, you shouldn't be playing the game.
Yeah.
But it's not like you saying, you know, you can suit up and get in the game, but we're not gonna give you the ball.
Right.
That's bullying.
Right.
But, all right.
Right.
So I've got a different perspective as somebody who was bullied. And this is about trying to change that kid's perspective, because I have a whole bunch of bullies that didn't learn that shit until I met up with them or saw them after I used to weigh 300 pounds. I got bullied all the time. Now I weigh 185 pounds, and I'm 6'2" compared to being fucking 5'10" before.
Yeah.
I run into these people that used to bully the shit out of me, and I could be petty. I could be petty.
I could be petty.
That sound like you might want
See, that's the thing is, when you're put in that place where you are completely humiliated in front of all of your peers, you just wish that they could live that same experience, because they won't ever understand how you feel until it actually happens to them.
Empathy.
But the question is it also teaching them a lesson to try to live from somebody else's perspective instead of just their own?
At that point, it's too late. They already did what they did to you.
But was what he did harmful?
Yes.
How?
What you talking about, Dad?
Yeah.
It's very fucking hard. It's traumatizing, bro.
But isn't what she did to the person she was bullying traumatizing too?
But did said person have to walk to school 5 miles in 30-degree weather with a motherfucking parent driving the car behind them? That's worse. And if you can do extreme punishment, I fucking guarantee you right now, coming from a household that did sometimes extreme punishment, that shit don't fucking work, bro.
I had the same thing happen.
All they do is traumatize you. That's it.
Yeah,
It just give you a bad memory. It's nothing good about the memory. It's no good. Nothing good as a memory.
But I want to take what you just said, and I want to ask you this question, because you said you got criminal justice major, and you helped a bunch of people through some mental health stuff and stuff like that. The physical pain of having to walk 5 miles in 30-degree temperature, is that worse than the emotional and mental trauma that person that she bullied? Which one do you think is worse? Like you just said that you think making her walk in the cold was a worse punishment that based on the reaction that the kid that she was bullying is.
Honestly,
I wasn't fucking asking you.
it just depends on the
I was
person.
asking.
That's really all it is. It just depends on the person.
No.
It really
Hey,
do.
listen,
I'm not telling
listen,
from my standpoint.
I'm just
telling
asking.
from everybody's standpoint. It depends on what kid, how strong they is in the brain, how they grew up. It depends on that situation.
Yeah,
you know?
but-
If that kid grew up strong and they had to walk, it's like, fuck that. My mom did what they did. My dad did what they did. Fuck it. But if it's like a weaker kid, grew up in a really loving household and they just randomly getting bullied, they're going to be like, what the fuck is this? I don't like this.
It's from your parents.
Yeah, and then it's your parent doing it. It's not just a random kid. Random kid is a different feeling than somebody so close to you.
Keep going.
Facts.
Facts.
No, I think honestly because I've been on both sides. I was the bully, and I got bullied. So, like he said, it just depends on the person and the situation, and then if you're built for it or not. Because what may appear to, like we all have different opinions right now, what may appear to be punishment and hurt to you may be different to you. So it's going to look different, and the situation is always going to be different because it's just based upon that person, whoever it is, and their family and what they believe in.
That is true.
That's easy.
I don't find no lies in that statement.
So then, shouldn't we leave it up to the parent to think what he or she thinks is best for trying to discipline their child?
Easy. You do what you do. It's your kid. You birthed that kid. That's your kid. You do what you want to
It's
do.
your opinion.
It's your opinion.
It's your opinion.
But
Either
yet
way.
we're all sitting here
There's no
trying
fact
to
there.
judge this guy on what he did.
With me saying what I said is you opened that up for the conversation. Now, if I saw it, that's none of my business.
No.
You opened that conversation up, so I gave my opinion. And I said, I don't think that, me personally, I think that's bullying your child.
And you're obligated to have that.
And I feel like
What if it was
everybody
this?
has the right to disagree with me.
Okay, what if it was the second or third or fourth time this kid was kicked off the bus for bullying?
Honestly, I understand that.
So
What if this is a pattern of behavior that they're not understanding, and you have to get to a point? Because this was the second or third time this kid
I'm gonna
was.
tell you one thing. Generally, when kids have good childhoods and they're being brought up the right way and have loving households to come to, they don't bully people. Right?
No, generally not.
So generally, if you're a loving parent, you don't have to worry about making your child walk. You can have a conversation with them. Communication is key. Communication can stop a war or start one.
Mm-hmm.
Communication can be misinterpreted and blown out of proportion, or it can be understood and make everybody on the same page. So that being said, if you can't talk to your child, then maybe you do have to use extreme punishment. But did you try talking to them first? did you try having them get to the level of that child? Before you make your child walk 5 miles, which let's talk about how long that is, in frigid weather, for a human being, fuck the age. That's cruel and unusual punishment. Off the rip. That's what I'm going to say.
I don't think that's cruel and unusual.
I think it is.
That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion.
You just walked from wherever your bike broke down to the crib, bro. That wasn't 5 miles. You a grown man.
It was 3.
You a but it was 5. If it was 5 miles and
Dude,
cold,
this wasn't a 5-year-old child.
No,
this was like a 15-year-old child.
A child in general.
A child in general, though, you gotta think 5-year-old damn near had the same exact reaction as a 15-year-old, cause they're your child regardless. They don't care if they're 18, 20, 21. It's like, damn, why is my parent not randomly? Why is my parent doing this to me?
But
I mean, and I understand where they're coming
I think the
from.
room is divided right down the middle right now. That's cool.
Yeah,
I like that though.
That's what it's all about. So.
oh, don't divide me and put me nowhere.
No,
where I'm
I'm
at.
saying,
Just
So we
divide.
need to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah,
now.
let
We
me
need to hear
tap
your
in.
thoughts.
All
You
I
gotta
was
hear your
gonna
thoughts.
say is that it all goes back to opinion, because we can all sit here and, like you said, division. I can be over here divided and thinking, even if that's not what you meant, I'm just saying.
That-
I can be over here thinking
yeah.
one way about the situation because I'm thinking about what you're speaking about. Okay, being a certain way because you live in a loving household, so they loved on you, so they treated you this way. And I'm thinking about a PK kid, a preacher's kid, being okay, super religious, learning this and doing this and applying this, and then they're going out into the real world and they're living a double life and they're doing something completely different. So that goes back into it all being opinionated, because you're in your world, he's in his world, I'm in my world, you're in your world, and then it's all back. You feel me?
All circumstances.
It's all
yes,
circumstances.
Yes, yeah, I agree with that.
But I think it should all boil down to the fact that we shouldn't judge each other. Like we
At all.
Straight
none
up.
of us really know what this guy was doing with his kid. We don't know any of the facts.
No
Have they
information.
had this conversation? Like you've even said, like, well, we don't know what was happening. Like, if this was the first time, yes, that would be an extreme punishment. 100%. If this was the first time that kid ever did anything, that would be an extreme punishment.
Yeah.
But if it was the second, third, fourth, fifth, and they're not understanding that,
That's what I said.
then maybe that's worth it.
That's what I
Because
said.
they're
If you
not
have tried
figuring it
already
out.
with them and that's not working, then maybe extreme punishment is
Maybe.
the route to go.
Fact.
But, so that's the thing is, we all don't know what this kid
But
and this
is
guy's
the
going
problem.
through.
This is my problem with the whole entire situation. We all do know that this happened. How?
Because he put it on social media.
It wasn't for his child to learn shit. Because
But-
I ain't never disciplined you, your brother, or your sister on camera.
Man,
Not
social
my
media
ass.
would have changed shit. It was
This
gonna be the same
motherfucker got
embarrassment.
175,000 views.
175,000.
175,000
My dad
views
he ain't
for
comment.
setting his fucking finger
He
on
ain't
fire.
share. He ain't like it. He ain't laugh. It was nothing funny about the
punched his
social
ass
media
off.
part.
He had
This nigga
175,000
called me.
Motherfuckers.
He called me on my own. Fuck social media. He ain't comment. He ain't do nothing. He called me
I called
directly
my son's
and let
phone.
me know I was in motherfucking trouble when he got
I
off.
said,
of
when
work.
I get off work, I'm beating your ass.
He let me know. He was honest though. He wasn't. It was
How
no
am I on
embarrassment.
social
Wouldn't have
media?
changed me getting the ass whooping regardless. I was gonna feel the same pain from the
Like,
ass
you
whooping.
really, but I explained to him what the problem was. You literally did this
Facts.
social media prank. You thought it was gonna set your hand on fire. You
Big
damn near
fact.
set the bathroom on fire.
100
I
plus
said
thousand views.
I said your sister was in the house with you.
Literally could have
You
killed
weren't
everybody.
thinking about none of that.
That's what he
Could have
was.
killed everybody. It was just funny though.
So everybody saw him set his finger on fire. Nobody saw my reaction.
That shit was great.
Because it's not for social media.
It's
The
not.
way I raised my kids is not for public. It's not for me to put on a show or an image
Yeah.
for nobody.
I don't think a social
So if
media
my
embarrassment
son
is good.
and or daughter was bullying somebody on a bus, I would handle that shit in private. He didn't record that shit for them to learn a lesson. He recorded
Okay,
that shit
again.
for clout.
But no, again, what if it was the third time and you've had that conversation, you've tried to do everything, and that kid still doesn't
He
learn?
ain't letting it go.
No, I'm just asking.
No, I love it that you're sticking with it. Stick to it.
Look, if your kid continued to not learn the same mistake over and over and over again, at what point are you going to go to be like, this has got to end? And nowadays, if you think about the way kids are, social media is their entire life. Like, this guy had no idea that this thing was going to go fucking viral and everybody was going to see it and there were going to be millions of
He
views.
didn't do it for his family members.
I can see it from his perspective, just as being a guy that was bullied, to be like, look, we've had this conversation. You haven't learned a goddamn thing. Now I'm going to take it to the extreme because you're going to fucking learn your lesson.
I get it. But the thing, I think, and this is, and maybe this is me overstepping my boundaries, so tell me to shut the fuck up when I do it. I think you have unhealed trauma, and that's why you naturally relate to the bullied victim as opposed to relating as a father and their child. You keep relating, you keep digressing back to the bullied victim. Oh, and bullying ain't cool either way.
I
think more or less, I'm coming from the parental side of it, where it's like, I'm not gonna do that to my child, because that's not gonna teach them shit.
Well, see,
I think it's you like, hell yeah, do that to that motherfucker, because you shouldn't have bullied me.
Okay, so here,
you know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying, but I can tell you where my idea comes from. It's not from trauma anymore, because I'm over it.
No, bro, and like I said,
I know what it is I'm just a harsher disciplinarian. Like, honestly, I like the idea of, in the Middle East, if you steal something, they take your fucking hand. Like, if politicians are corrupt back in the 1800s, they hung them from the fucking light posts in the street. Like, I am, like, the only way, that's just who I am. I don't think that everything needs harsh punishment, but if you start with harsh punishment, man, they learn their fucking lesson. And maybe this is my trauma because my dad was an alcoholic and he was a harsh punishment.
Facts.
But
was he a bully?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
But guess what? I ain't never been arrested. I ain't never been in handcuffs. I ain't never been in the back of a cop car. The worst thing I've ever done is fucking not steal something, but I got fucking pulled over. That's the worst shit that I've ever done. Like, I was so terrified of getting my ass fucking beat by my father for fucking up that I didn't do shit wrong.
So believe it or not, ain't none of that shit happened to me either. I didn't have to get bullied into not being that. I just didn't want to be a person that went to jail. I just didn't want to do shit that caused me to go to jail. Like all of the.
Did you just get away with breaking the law a whole bunch then? Or did you just never break the law?
Because I never broke the law because I was terrified of the consequences. Were you just smart enough to get around of not getting caught? Or were you actually scared to do anything wrong because you knew your life was going to fucking end?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, my boy. I ain't going there.
Now, see, I didn't break the law because I was too terrified of breaking the law. So I had extreme punishment my whole life for anything I fucked up. Like, if I got a D on a report card, I was getting an ass chewing. Maybe a foot up my ass.
But listen, let me interfere right there because I'm telling you, when it comes to discipline, and I think about these kids, think about it. These days, while working in a high school, you get a D. The cool thing to do these days is get a D. So you think anyone walking around there like, ooh, did you pass that test? You got an A? Ooh, me too. No, everybody like, you got a D? Me too, bro. Like, what we about to do? We about to go smoke in the bathroom or do, that's what they're doing these days. It's just like, it goes back to the discipline. Because it's just like, why is it so normalized to not succeed any longer? Everybody wants to.
Also, I like that. It's also want to.
Want to.
It's if you want to. If your parents teach you to want to.
Nah, they ain't gotta teach you shit.
If you want in your own brain, you gotta want it.
I'm gonna tell you one thing about me.
Stop hitting the bar.
Yeah, you definitely doing it.
I did not hit the bar that time. Let's run that video back. They gonna show the replay.
Run it back.
I did not hit the bar. My arm was a little heavier.
Run that back for him.
You just fucking did it again.
My arms just a little heavier, so they gonna
stop
hit the bar.
heavy in your arms on the bar.
Man, it's not my fart. My arms
Your
is
fart?
heavier.
Must be kind of stinky over there.
Alright.
Alright, back to the fart.
Back to the fart, man. Let's get to it, man.
So, alright. Definitely scrubbing all this out.
Fuck that. Let's let it all roll. Yeah, why not?
This out, man. We not editing this out.
You never know what's gonna be TikTok famous.
You don't know. You never know.
You never know.
Right.
What part?
So
Man, get us
on
a
the
good
aspect of like disciplining the kids, and when I said you want to,
Yeah.
I literally had every single reason to fail. When I was a kid, every reason to not even give a fuck about school because nobody cared. I was the second to the youngest out of 5 kids.
Big facts.
You would think if I was the youngest, I would be the one nobody paid attention to.
Right.
I was the second to youngest. To this day, people say my mom got 4 kids. She got 5. It's me. I'm the 5th. And I'm
Big facts.
I'm so quiet. But the whole time, I'm not saying nothing bad about my siblings, love them to death, but they was not as well behaved as me on paper.
If you know, you know.
So we was all as bad as each other.
On paper.
If you know, you know.
So we was all just as bad as each other. But one thing I really took pride in, I liked the grades. I loved seeing A's.
Big
I loved to see that shit. So I was a straight A student, but I kept getting suspended, which dropped me down to a B- student.
For that whole 3 days. It was B minus. How long was y'all suspended?
No, because we get zeros back in the day. Now
Yeah, the
No,
zero.
Now you still get suspended. If you get suspended, all your grades from them days count as zeros.
No, your sister has been suspended, and they said, well, she can still do her work. And I'm like,
The hell?
And
Well, this happened after me.
Online.
Okay.
2022.
Online. That's the thing. Online.
Hey, chat. This is after 2022 because I don't remember none of this.
Listen though. So I didn't have that opportunity. So with me, no matter what I did, I was gifted. Is what they called me.
Big facts.
I was supposed to go to Washington Gifted School. I was one signature away from going, and that was from my mom. I was a gifted child.
Yeah.
Even with my behavior problems, I know how to keep good grades. I averaged a B because I was suspended. But the thing is, I was still the cool kid. I was still the troublemaker. I was still the popular attraction and whatever the fuck was going on. But I wanted good grades. And that was the difference. And I wanted this shit. Like, I wasn't smoking weed and doing shit I wasn't supposed to fucking do as a kid. But the difference between me and the motherfuckers I was doing it with was I was smart.
Yeah.
Book smart. Street smart. All the smarts you can put together in one person gave me to.
But along with the 1-2 choices, it's all a choice. You make the choice, because I know some kids right now walking up and down the hallways is just intelligent. You put them, they can take a test, don't even worry about it. Just give it to them right now.
Yeah,
they're going to ace it. They're going to ace it.
I never studied for that. Yeah.
So that they're making the choice to be in those bathrooms, to get those D's, high-fiving each other, because they're making a choice to do
Because
so.
they don't want to be the odd man out.
Yep.
Everybody else got D's. Well, I look around here with the A's. I ain't gonna have y'all fucking make fun of me because I'm smart.
Right.
So
Honestly, it sounds stupid, but that's what it
But
is.
you know, but that's because it's normalized. It's a normal thing to do.
So that brings me to a question I got for you, because you see it more, and you're probably closer to the age than I am, because I'm 20 plus years out of high school.
Yeah.
Do you think we're doing all these kids a disservice by making all this shit normalized? Because, like, I think we're just setting the standard and the bar so fucking low that no one gives a shit.
And you know what? I blame all of us. We're all accountable, because if you think about it, we are doing a disservice, because think about it. Now in schools and hallways, we're allowing them to carry their cell phones. When I was in school, you were almost terrified to bring that cell phone out of your locker because you know that you're going to get disciplined. Like he said, the 1-2, and you have to think about it. Now it's not normalized to get A's, B's, or C's. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody else is doing one thing. So we are doing them a disservice by allowing them to do the things that they do, because it shouldn't be normalized.
Mm-hmm.
We should be promoting more positive things in the environment and the government. All of that, it should be, those things should be in the titles, the headlines. That's what we should see more
What
of
can we do?
as people.
And I mean, like, you being on the inside, telling
Yeah.
us we're on the outside.
Right.
Three of us are the outside.
Yeah.
You're on the,
Yeah.
What can we do as a whole? Because it's going to take y'all that's on the inside
Yeah.
and us on the outside
Yeah.
to work together. Because we have to mold the future
have to.
generation.
Yeah.
When we get old, these are going to be our politicians, our cops, our teachers, our athletes, or whatever the fuck you think the world is. They are going to be in those roles. What can we do to mold them into the right path?
You know what I've learned the hardest thing to do? It starts with the parents, and I don't want to put the blame on them, but it starts in the household. Because I look at this young man and how he is, and how I can tell that you raised him just based upon meeting you. So it starts at home, because we only can, because with me being around, but with me being around the kids, I can only touch on them and love on them in a positive way so much. but then they're not staying home with me. They're going
Right.
back home.
Yes.
So whatever they're exposed to there, that becomes their normalized way of thinking, way of teaching, the way of acting. So then when they come around something new, they don't know how to be loved, don't know how to listen to or buy in because it's not something that they're used to. It's almost unfamiliar in a foreign language. So we are doing them a disservice.
Yes.
Okay. I got a question about something that's, current news and events that kind of ties into this, in my opinion. Did you hear that the Supreme Court just overturned affirmative action when it comes to college admissions?
No.
I did not hear. I didn't hear
They
that.
snuck that one in.
They did because I did not.
They
hear
snuck that
Yeah.
motherfucker under me.
There's a college.
I'm young. I know about
Why
college.
are you so aggressive about the news?
Quit hitting the fucking
Damn, the
ball.
bar keep getting in my way.
So I have my own opinions, and they're probably a little biased, so I'm not going to really share them at the moment. So, how do you feel about the idea of the fact that the Supreme Court overturned affirmative action for college admissions?
If you don't want to go.
No. I know you're ready. You can go ahead and take it
I
away
was
because
gonna
I'm
say
just thinking.
describe what you mean. I'll tell you exactly what I feel about it.
Affirmative action.
No, I
is-
want you to describe what you mean in the.
What it is they are no longer going to consider race as part of their admissions. It's
I'm not
only
gonna
going
lie.
to be considered their scores, their test scores, their grades, their all of their attributes and all the stuff they have that they put on their resume when they apply to college.
Why the fuck hasn't it been like that? I thought it should have been like that. Why the fuck do you care if they're African American or not? American, just look at the test score and just guess off of that. Like, look at my credit score and guess off
No,
of that.
that's actually
Why
how
do you
it
care
should
about black
go to a certain extent. Because the reason why affirmative action had to be put in place in the first place is because him being him, me being me, I could have higher test scores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll look better for the college, the university.
Yeah.
The admittance of him looks better to society.
Yeah, facts.
I have this guy right here who's going to represent this college no matter what he does. Okay, you can be a scientist, a doctor, an athlete, a teacher, professor. You can be whatever you want. But the certificate from you graduating comes from this college. I need it to look like him. And that's why affirmative action was created. It was like, well, he's more qualified.
In what year?
In what year about what?
What year? Do you know around what year they started doing affirmative action?
I don't know what year. But
No, I don't need to be specific because I'm not going to know exactly.
I'm not going to speak on shit I don't know for sure.
But it was like the 80s or 90s, right?
No, it was before that.
Okay, whatever. All right, even if it was in the 70s. At that time of our history, I can 100% understand why it was needed. Because at that point, America was still racist as fuck in some aspects, and so there were people of color who were being passed over for promotions or job opportunities or college admittance just because of their color.
So I agree with you. I'm gonna walk straight down that path with you. We're gonna go side by side. It was needed at one point.
At one point.
And it got so needed that it got implemented. Once it was implemented, it started to be something how you started to think. Well, why do we have one group? Yes. Why do we have one group of people predominantly taking over this college when everybody who could be qualified wasn't even considered? That's why it was needed. Now it's to the point where we just literally had a conversation about this generation that we're talking about who would need affirmative action. Affirmative action right now ain't gonna do nobody no fucking good. And I don't see colleges saying you can't get in because you're a certain color. It's the only color they give a fuck about right now is green.
That's not
Big
true.
facts. Big facts.
What's not true?
There are several colleges that allow, and actually one of those in our state right now. You have a better chance of getting admitted to that college because you are black or Mexican than you are if you are white or Asian, even if your scores are better as white or Asian.
What college?
University of Illinois.
U of I?
U of I will turn down many white people because they have a certain number of ethnicities that they.
Stats on that, bro.
Oh no, you
Yeah, I gotta
well,
see stats on that one because
Well,
I'm
look
not
at-
gonna lie. I know a
I'm
lot
not
of
saying there's
white.
This is why the
Yeah.
lawsuit was brought all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States is because there are several places
Yeah, big facts.
why they will admit more minorities and people of color because they have quotas that they have to admit.
Uh-huh.
That's what the whole.
But they just not just grabbing motherfuckers off the street like, hey, get your black ass over here.
No.
Yeah.
No, they're not. They're people that are applying.
Yeah, so
They're all people that are
So it's-
potentially qualified.
but it's like no different than you just doing your job. If you are in admittance, you're just doing your job. It's a part of your job. It was already an idea, and it got implemented. The people who are doing these jobs now, it was already a thing for their guys. So
Yes.
they have to meet that quota, like you said, they have to.
Big facts.
But okay, but all right. So my question is, do you think affirmative action is actually a benefit to people of color, or do you think it's more of a crutch for people of color?
Ooh, that's a bad way to say it, and I'm gonna disagree with you entirely.
I didn't make a statement. I asked a fucking question.
I
So
know
don't
your question.
try to put that shit on me. Don't say you disagree. I asked a question that were two parts, and you want to blame my ass for asking a question and not giving an
I
opinion.
answered your question.
By telling me I was wrong. I didn't make a statement.
No. I said it was a bad choice of wording, which was the answer to the question. To call it a crutch.
Yeah.
That's like, all right, this motherfucker on fire. Now he wants some water. Oh, crutch.
Hold on. This is why I say it's a crutch, and it's not. It's
So you are
there
saying
was.
that.
I am okay. Think about it like this. Let's say you have Johns Hopkins University, and they're going to medical school. If you are injured in a car accident and you are rushed to the ER, and they are trying to save your life, do you give a fuck what color they are?
I ain't gonna lie. No, but I don't know what the fuck that got to do with it.
Okay, but affirmative action. Here's what it has to do with it.
I mean, focus on some other shit. I heard you talk about them.
Quit hitting the bar.
I would not have cared if they.
But here's my question, and I'm not making a statement, so don't fucking get defensive. I'm just asking the question. If Johns Hopkins, which is one of the top medical schools in the country, then said we have to admit 10% minorities, regardless of your scores, that means there could be potentially, even if they're Asian or Indian or any other, if they say we need Mexicans and black people of 10%, what happens if you've got 90% of your other ethnicities are already filled up, and you've got 100 people that have better test scores, have better grades, have better everything, but they have to have a certain number of minorities and people of color in their admittance. If the guy who was given that opportunity at that college because of his ethnicity, when you go into the hospital, would you rather have whoever it is that could potentially be smarter and better at the job, or the person that got in just because of the color they were?
Honestly,
That's why I
just
say
take
crutch.
fucking care of me.
That's why I say crutch. I'm just trying to explain the terminology I used. It's not my opinion. It's just a fucking
Honestly,
question.
if you were in that state, like where you wanted to even do that, you have to have a sense of what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my
You're not
question.
gonna do it for no
Okay,
reason.
so-
You're not just gonna throw you in a doctor position
So that's my
because you
point.
wanted to do bragging. So you're gonna be there for a reason. So you know you have an idea of what you're doing. I'm not gonna say I'd rather have somebody more experienced. We would never know. They're not gonna tell you like, hey, this doctor's 20% improved, this doctor's 40%. You might fucking make it, you might not. I'm gonna be like, honestly, I'm just going to surgery. Take care of me. It's on
Day on
y'all.
the job.
This is
It's on y'all. At this point.
So with all of that being said, where they have to pick this 10%, that's my
Big
right,
fact.
right? I ain't even say what I have to say first. It's already fact. I like that word.
Big facts.
Look, so,
Hype man.
I know. So with all that being said, right? So all right, they had to. Like I told you, they're just doing the job anyway.
Either way. Either
So-
way, that's
so,
what they
so
do.
let me finish. So they had to do their job anyway, right? So they have to pick these 10%. If they're qualified, what difference does it make? Because there's not just one school.
Oh, See, here's
There's not just one
here-
opening,
but-
nationwide. So if the 10% that you had to pick, which is part of their job, it's not like they're like, oh, I'm gonna get this job and I'm gonna be an admittance at a fucking college and I'm gonna say, well, I only want black. No, it's their job. You have to have this quota that you gotta meet. So if the people are qualified, what the fuck difference do it make anyway?
Okay, so
if they're qualified.
But here's the question then. I believe there was somebody that once said, "Judge me on the content of my character instead of the color of my skin."
Mm-hmm.
So when I say it's a crutch, what I'm saying is you're lowering the standards for certain people to let them in because you're trying to fill a quota. So you're not judging them based on the content of their character. You're judging them based on the color of their skin.
I get that, but is that going on?
Yes, that's actually what the Supreme
you
Court
can prove.
Yes, just go look up the fucking Supreme Court ruling this last
You're not
week.
listening.
That's what happened.
All you heard me say was you can prove, and you said yes. So that's
Okay,
redundant.
you're right. I
That's
didn't.
redundant as hell. Because I've been like, can you prove that this computer is made out of bubble gum? You said yes. You ain't let me finish.
Go ahead, finish.
So what I'm saying is, can you prove that the 10% that they had to choose are less qualified than the ones they didn't pick?
Yes, that is what.
So you can prove it.
Yes, based by
Can,
this.
can you do it right now?
If you go,
No, you do it.
I got
You gotta
on
prove
my
it.
I
phone
get what
right
you-
now
okay,
and looked
okay.
up the court
Here's
case.
my fucking phone right here. You can use mine. I don't care.
Here, I'll show
Where
you.
you want to go to
All right, that's
the
fine.
break?
Prove
You want
it
the
to
facts.
me
You want the
that
facts.
the people
Fine
that
print.
the 10% had to be were less
Fine
qualified than the ones who got skipped out on because they weren't black or people of color. You have to prove to me, because you said you
You
can
want the
prove
facts.
it,
Okay.
that they were less
saying.
qualified and still chosen. I'm not worried about the lawsuit. I'm not worried about the affirmative action being taken away.
You wanna
Can
see
you
numbers and
prove
facts.
that you can get, I need colleges, the people who admitted them, the reason why they didn't admit the ones that were overqualified as opposed to the ones that were underqualified. And when you do that, we'll continue this conversation. As for now,
We never
everybody-
had a time, right?
So my question is more about is I understand why we needed affirmative action at the time, but this is 2023. This is not 1970, 1980. Turn that bitch around too. No. Turn the label toward. There it is.
Say what shit again.
So my biggest question about affirmative action is there was a point in our history where it was definitely necessary. My question is, in 2023, do you still think it's as necessary in the same way as it was back then?
No, I don't think so.
So at that point, do you think, in the same way that I said, is it a crutch because it lowers the standards instead of just taking the best qualified people, giving companies and colleges quotas to fill a certain minority or whatever for their admission? Do you think that is good or bad? Because I personally think you should take the best people available. And it's not just because I'm white. There are people who are way fucking smarter than I am. And I don't give a fuck what color they are. They're smarter than me, so I'll listen to them. I think it should be more about qualifications than it should be about anything else.
Okay, I think it's a step further than that. What's better for the school?
People who make a lot of money get really smart and then donate to the...
You don't have to answer, but you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
It's all about money.
What's better for the school is what they should do. I think it's too much involvement. God damn it, another one?
This is the worst fucking show ever.
God.
This is the best fucking show ever, actually.
Oh my God.
Back to what I was saying. I think it's more or less like, all right, so what's better for the school? Let's stop ruling out the fact that this university, college, I'm still going to keep talking, fuck it.
I'm listening.
This university, college, or whatever it is, they have a reputation to uphold. They have a certain criteria they have to hold their alumni to. Now, they don't give a fuck what color those people are.
Shouldn't.
The admittance part is, all right, we have to do this 10%. I say at least 7%. They was going to choose those 7% anyway.
Probably.
Let's drop it down to 3%. It was chosen because of what you had to do to reach certain criteria, right? So, in all, when did the college get a chance to win in affirmative action? So if you was to take it out, cool, do that. Because we have HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated from one, if anyone
Facts.
cares.
Nice.
Which one?
West
Nice.
Virginia State
Straight up.
University, yeah.
That's what's up.
Facts. I fuck with that.
So, you don't, like, I don't understand why people want to be involved in shit that they're not invited to.
Mm-hmm.
So if,
Messy.
I feel what you're saying from a standpoint.
so it's like people like, oh, I don't, like artists, I don't do the Grammys. You wasn't invited.
Motherfuckers, nobody invited you.
You weren't invited. This is not your cup of tea.
This is
This
not
is
you.
not for you. If you need some validation and you not Grammy status, then stop going to the Grammys to get your validation.
Big fact.
That being said,
Big fact.
if you want to go to a school and you don't meet their requirements, go to a school where you meet the requirements. So if you want to go to a school and just go because you're a person of color, go where you accepted and get accepted and do that. For the simple fact of, I don't believe in the whole concept of, oh, y'all don't want me in there, you got to let me in. Because guess what? The whole 4 years you there, it's going to be hell. They don't want you there.
And I can only, like I said, I can relate to this topic because I went to a all-white high school. And, you know, that was a change. Like I was telling him, growing up where I grew up, I wasn't used to seeing people, you know, dressed up differently than I was. Meaning, like, I had Amish classmates. I had never saw that before coming where I came from. You know, so it was different. And the horse and buggies, like,
I seen that shit in real life. That's
yeah.
crazy.
So I was living around that. So when I was in high school, in my graduating class, maybe 5, 6 black kids.
One mine.
Huh?
One in mine.
5, 6, and I had never seen that before, so it was different for me. Like the way I wear, like my hair, or should I dress this way? Like I didn't come from money, so the stress that it causes you, like you said, to do that for 4 years.
Why would why would you
4
want to
years?
do that for 4 more years?
That's
4 years.
They already don't want you
It's
here.
traumatizing.
But the thing is like, imagine you're somebody who's trying to get into one of the best schools. Like that like I can understand the idea of wanting to get in the best school and feeling like you belong because you feel like you should belong there because you're good enough.
And here comes my neutral ass. Y'all know me. I done seen both sides. So, okay, here I was. The thing, in ways it did benefit me. I then transferred to a junior college in Benton Harbor, Michigan, completely different from Napanee, Indiana, where I was going to high school, to where I'm walking in and I'm having a conversation. You talk white. I'm like, huh? I talk white. What does that sound like? Like, I'm
what is that?
Can y'all let me know? You know, because I have been used to because I have been used to a certain way of living for so long that once the moment I made that transition to being around my culture and my people, I'm like, wait, what are y'all talking about? Let me know. So I was able to have both the best worlds because then I went from high school doing that to junior college and I went to an HBCU. So I'd have been on all sides. I'd have been on all sides.
That's a
Food.
We gotta interview you more.
See, so
I'd have
There's
been
a
on all
lot more
sides.
to it.
Yeah, it's more to me. It's more to me. I promise you it is. It's more
So,
to me.
all right, that because I'm the only white person on this panel right now, I got a question.
You good.
All right, so how do you feel about cultural appropriation?
Like I said, being exposed to each and every aspect, like I'm more than appreciative of my journey because I feel like even when I spoke about going to Tazewell County, I was proud of the fact that I knew that I could open my mouth and speak and sound intelligent and not sound black or sound white. Just sound like myself, someone that's an educated black woman.
Articulate.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So I think it's really crazy and I dislike it because for so long I really disliked the fact that someone would associate me with speaking white instead of saying that it was intelligent, that I was educated.
But all right, so that's
Go ahead.
for the people that said you speak white.
Yeah.
They don't look at it as you speaking intelligent.
No.
They look at it as you speaking a different tongue.
Exactly.
We understand you, but why do you talk this way?
Right. But you know what it is? They haven't been educated in that area because of what they're used to step outside that box to be like, oh, you sound intelligent. They're taught, oh, you sound white. Instead of asking those questions.
You sound all smarty-eyed,
you
like
sound
a white
smart.
person.
Albert Einstein.
Right. You know, but you got to think too. Then I can make the assumption of them when we talk about race just based upon who they are and okay, like the way you guys speak is much different than the way that I speak. So it goes back to the whole race thing to be like, even though you're speaking saying, I'm G from the G, and I'm thinking like, what's the G? You know? But that's just, it's crazy though. Now
Big
I
facts.
know. Then I didn't. Because of the race and the, you know what I mean? So like I said, I've
Culture.
been exposed to the whole, all of it. I've seen it.
Yeah, and what's crazy is the comparisons.
Yeah. Good. Double.
You sound
That was dumb.
you sound white because you sound intelligent. It's the whole upbringing of that's how you teach your kids.
Yeah.
Any motherfucker sound like this trying to sound white.
Yep.
It's not at all true because I came from two different worlds and now my world changed overnight. So I know you're not from Peoria,
No.
but I grew up in what was called the Warner Homes.
Okay.
Now, have you ever seen New Jack City?
Yeah.
The Carter?
Uh-huh.
The fucking Warner Homes.
Okay.
That's where I came up at. They tore them bitches down and turned them to the River West. I grew up in the Warner Homes. We moved directly from the fucking Carter
Yeah.
to where Will Smith was raised. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We went straight from the Carter to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So we was out of place like a motherfucker
Right.
for years. And then we kind of adapted.
Yeah.
You know, like me personally, I don't talk like none of my siblings.
Right.
At all.
None of them.
Facts.
And I'm not insulting their intelligence because I have very, very intelligent siblings.
Yeah.
They don't talk like me.
Right.
The thing is, I adapted naturally. Most of the people around me, when I went from straight, I'm talking about the Carter, from the hood straight to the Bel Air. It wasn't Bel Air by any means. We didn't live around rich people, but it was come from the hood. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
So I adapted, and I started making white friends. Like my best friend from the 4th grade reminded me of him.
Shout out Kyle.
My boy Kyle. I just talked to him.
Shout out Kyle.
Anyway, we'll talk about that after the show.
Shout out
Anyway,
Kyle.
When I met him, I was like, you remind me of my best friend I grew up with.
Man, shout out Kyle.
I like y'all kind of look alike and everything.
Uh-huh.
So I adapted to the environment I was in. I'm a survivor by nature.
Right.
No matter what you put me in a room full of vultures, I bet I stayed
I'ma figure it
alive.
out.
I'm gonna figure this out.
Big fact.
Yeah, leave me
So-
with some wolves. I'll come back leading the pack.
That's my point. So that's what it was.
Big
It was
facts.
like I adapted and I knew how to talk.
Right.
Because you have to learn the native tongue to get along with the natives.
And do.
And there you go. I like that.
Yeah.
So I learned the native tongue. It was like, all right, I was always intelligent, so like, let me show it to these people. Let me make sure, and it was a shield I had to put up. Let me make sure you're not scared of me.
Yeah.
Let me make sure you're comfortable. So I learned how to talk what they call white. But my natural tongue is mixed with both of them now.
It's just me.
It's just how I talk.
It's me.
I use big words. I'm very articulate. I also speak hood.
Right.
Cause that's my first language. Swear to God, like, but I know how to make people feel comfortable. But it was a nature of adaptation. It was a nature of survival where I had to learn how to sound white because I needed to survive in this white neighborhood. So the people who never had to be in that situation, naturally, I'm like, man, you sound white.
Exactly.
People people who was in that situation, now you know how to do
They
this.
were, and that's how I see it. As soon as I
So I'm just saying, it take one to know one. You know how to do it.
yeah.
It's not like you actually sound white. You just know how to
I
use
know.
words.
Yeah.
You sound intelligent.
Yeah.
That's
I was trying to separate the two.
Yeah. You never.
like it's
Yeah.
that's like no offense, but that's the thing that kind of pisses me off. Because it's like, oh, if you sound intelligent, you sound white.
That's
And
what
if
I'm
you
saying.
sound
That's
poor,
You
you
sound
sound black.
whatever, yeah.
But I know a bunch
It
of
don't
fucking
make sense, Pat.
I know a bunch of white people. I know a
If you
bunch
think of it deeply, it don't make sense.
I know a bunch of white people that come from the trailer park that fucking sound like fucking idiots. Like
Facts.
it's got nothing to do with your race. It's got everything to do with your level of intelligence and how articulate you want to be and how much you want to make your point without sounding like a fucking moron.
And sadly, what they call the lowest level of intelligence is acting black. You a white person acting black.
Nah, because I know rednecks
I done
that don't
heard
act black or sound black.
No,
They're
I'm
just
saying
dumb,
you
poor
got your
fucking
rednecks
white
that's
people.
not acting black, but I'm saying you got your white boys who
But see, that's
people consider as you acting black. You not even acting like a white person. What the fuck are you doing?
yeah. But
Oh,
okay,
so
okay.
we finna spin the block.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen it several times.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm so glad
block
you did.
right
Stop acting black.
Hey,
I'm
I
like,
like
what the
this
fuck
right
are you
here.
talking about? Telling
Yeah.
us I acting black.
So that all right. So that brings us back to cultural appropriation.
Yeah, cultural
Okay.
appropriation. Again,
How do you feel about cultural appropriation? That was even like, do you like? And everybody says it's all white people stealing black people's culture.
man, it's
That's
where you
cultural
grow up at.
appropriation, or Hispanic people, or whatever.
Yeah, it's where you grow up at.
How do you feel about it?
It's where you grow up at.
But
I
how?
get the answer. I get the answer.
That's the
Alright.
realest,
It's where you
deepest
grow up
answer I
at.
can give you. It's where you
So-
grow up at. You can have a boy like you, Pat, a regular white boy. You would think he's just a regular white boy. He grew up around me, and we like brothers. I call him my brother where we go. He gonna act like me. Motherfuckers gonna. And when he by himself, people gonna be like, "Why the fuck you trying to act black? You not
He's
trying to
just
act
being
black, bro.
himself.
That's what the fuck you grew up in. It's never.
He's just being
It's
himself.
cultural appropriation, like you said. You gotta appreciate people who grew up around you 100%. It matter the fucking color. It don't matter if you white, blue, black.
Stop hitting the fucking bar!
You feel me?
So,
It don't matter what you is. You
cultural
gotta
appropriation,
appreciate it.
right? So you see her hair,
Yeah. Shout out Kyle.
change her skin. She's white.
That's cultural appropriation.
That's-
And then that's when you get a hell of black women storming her.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah,
have
but-
that hair as a white woman.
Why not?
And I don't know. I can't
It
defend
goes
it.
back into my story. of
You
what
can, I
my
can't
life
defend it.
story.
I can't do nothing for her. I can't defend a white woman. I don't know why they attack him, but it happens. And black women are the only people who know why, unless they explain it to a black man. I know. I know that. I'm
Anyway.
just saying. I done heard hella people. Black women get mad about box braids. What the fuck I look like jumping in and saying, why are you mad at the white women?
No, you're right. I get it.
Why the
I
fuck?
get it.
They gonna be like, you Uncle Tom ass nigga. I have nothing to say about it. I don't know if she's right or wrong. I really have no say so. I'm not a woman and I'm not a white or a black woman.
That boy
You feel me?
cold.
I'm not neither of those, so I can't have an opinion like
But
y'all
she's
got.
one of those things.
I wouldn't. She's a black woman. This is a real black.
So
queen.
why don't we let her give her
We're
opinion?
gonna let her give her opinion on white women having dreads.
She can have her opinion on it.
Let's hear your opinion. And there's no problem with it at all.
Honestly, like I said, like 5, 6, 7 years ago, with me being exposed to both worlds, at one point I would have said that was wrong. But I would only say it was wrong because of why? I was going along with everyone else's opinion and
Everybody
it being
else.
normalized
Sheeple.
instead of thinking of it,
Sheeple instead of people.
yeah. And instead of just me looking like, okay, that's something that you like to do as a woman, I should respect that.
Big
And
fact.
we need to do more of, oh, you want to look like me? Why shouldn't that be a thing of just like,
Imitation
I
is the
appreciate
best
that.
form
like,
of flattery.
Why shouldn't I
respect,
appreciate
like,
it?
why
See?
not? You
Yeah.
want to look like me? I should
Yeah.
almost feel honored because you're adapting and adopting certain things that we
Facts.
have been
Facts.
blessed with. Instead of
Facts.
taking offense to it because we're quick to label people. But like you said, if I'm raised around something, like I was raised around something, I began to talk like this because why? I was raised around it. Just like somebody else.
You have no choice.
You have a little brother, white, black. Well, just because he came to live with me, he speaks this way because of why? He's
Because
been around it.
This is what he's around. This
That's
is
what he
how I
knows.
speak.
And that's the thing is, I don't think it's cultural appropriation. Because we live in America. We are the melting pot,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah,
what
we're the
made
melting
us so
pot.
great. It's not cultural appropriation. It's cultural appreciation. We're like white people that like the black culture is we just appreciate your culture.
Yeah.
And we're trying to take things that we appreciate and like
Yeah.
about you and bringing it into our own family and our
But-
own history.
But most people take it offensive.
But why?
I have no clue. I don't take it offensive.
I don't-
Me personally. I could see a real Rasta white man, and I wouldn't really take it offensive.
Listen.
I wouldn't think nothing of it. I just wouldn't take
But-
it offensive. I don't know how to feel about it.
Could you really find a real Rasta white man?
You really can't.
No, because I can tell you right now,
You
I
really
have
can't.
as
That's
a white
the deep thing about it.
as a white man, there are
Yeah.
two things that I know for sure. I will never know what it's like to be a person of color in this country,
Right.
and I
Yes,
will
sir.
never know what it's like to be a woman in this country.
Yes, sir.
I can
Two
have
other
my
things.
own ideas and my own
Yeah.
beliefs on
Yeah.
what I think it is,
Yeah.
but I never had to live a fucking day of it.
And I think
Neither
that's-
of them.
And I think
Facts.
that's where
I
the
feel you.
line is drawn when it comes to it. That's where the line is drawn. The line is drawn there. Or like, okay, yeah, you can adopt these certain things and you can dress and be this way because you respect it. But the truth of the matter is, you may not know what it's like to ever be a person like myself. What?
No, go
I
ahead.
said to be a
Finish.
person as myself. I was in high school trying to cut damn bangs. What was I doing with some bangs? But it's because I saw it.
You saw it. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so
You
I'm
gotta
trying to
blend
be.
in.
I'm trying to be a
You in
skater.
Rome. You gotta
I'm
do
trying
what
to be a
Rome's doing.
skater
Yeah.
because that's what I see. That's around me.
Uh-huh.
You know, and then it's just like, okay, cool. I adopt that, but then they become so fascinated with my hair when I wear it in an afro because it's something that they cannot do. So then they appreciate it.
Yep.
So that's why it's just like they may not ever know what it's like to have a fro, but by me wearing it, they'll be like, oh, or hell, they may.
I
go
feel
home
like
with some hair.
deeply
You
on
never
the
know, like-
situation.
Nah, I feel.
If you think of it deeply, it's 50-50. You got your black people who like, we all human. You feel me? Like everybody just agree with what they doing. You know, they Rastas in their words.
Yeah.
They're Rasta white people. You know,
Yeah.
and most black people actually accept it. You know, you just want to be a part of us, and it's no problem with us. We're all on Earth anyway.
Yeah.
It won't change nothing if I don't like you or do like you, so I'm just gonna like you anyway. And then you got your other part of the percent of the, we want to gatekeep this. This has nothing to do with you white people at all. what the fuck are y'all doing trying to have dreads when we the only people who can have actual dreads?
Well, if you look at the story of dreads, if somebody who knows the history of dreadlocks,
Yes, sir.
then there is a reason to be offended.
Yeah.
But most people don't know that history, so they don't know why.
Most people don't know the history. Most white people
Why
not
being
even,
drawn?
not even as offending.
Like, but do you know the history of dreads? Do you know why they're called dreads?
No, I actually do not know
Do
the
you?
exact
I have no
reason.
idea.
I have
You.
no exact reason.
They are. You've seen that.
I've heard so much about
I've read into
stories.
it.
Yeah, I've heard
because-
stories and I've
Because
heard.
it's the reason why we say, because I don't say dreadlocks. I say locks.
That's what they're called. They're
Yeah,
called locks.
I say locks and not dreadlocks.
They're not called dreadlocks.
Because, and I've seen some things that people would say, because it's like, I'm saying dreadlocks, but it's almost like I'm dreading the process of having the locks. And people don't know that it's really a spiritual thing to have these. Like, I don't look at these as just being
so
like
your hair is supposed to
hair.
be your connection
It's
to
my
the
what you're
crown.
saying is
Yeah.
Your hair is your connection to the ether. Like, so that's one thing. The reason why it's called dreadlocks is because there was a Haitian militia leader
Yeah.
where we all know the French invaded Haiti. That's why Haiti speaks French. They were robbed of their tongue to speak whatever. Fuck all that.
Yes, sir.
That's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order for them to conquer, what they thought was a good idea was to take a militia leader hostage. All of his people look like you and you.
Yes, sir.
By
Dreads,
head.
roster, roster.
Okay? Those were called locks.
Yeah.
Until they start killing all the French until they let his ass go.
Uh-huh.
Then they got to be called dreads. They weren't called dreadlocks.
Once they let them go, it was
The
called dread.
people were the dreads.
Yeah.
They dreaded seeing these people because these motherfuckers came through with machetes and they killed any and everything in their path until they let that man free.
Yeah.
So that's where the term dreadlocks comes from.
Dreadlocks, facts.
So for somebody to say somebody's misappropriating dreadlocks, that's where they would come from. But most people don't even know that.
Really?
So they just jumping on a bandwagon.
Okay.
You should
All
have.
right.
Really,
Oh,
really along the of white person, you shouldn't be trying to stick up for what wasn't meant for you.
Okay, so
Really along the lines of that, but
just
depending on who
just
you
to
are.
ask the question, because I don't have an opinion on this whatsoever. If they essentially started in Haiti,
Yeah.
are y'all of Haitian descent?
No.
So wouldn't that still be technically cultural appropriation that black
No.
people stole
No.
from Haitians?
No.
I'm just asking a question. I'm not
I'm
trying.
answering it. I'm
Okay,
answering it.
that's
Facts,
fine.
facts, facts,
I don't
facts,
want
facts.
any hate.
Facts,
I'm just
Pat. No offense.
asking a
This is
question.
just questions, Pat. Pat, these are just questions,
It's not-
Pat.
I don't know anything about it. That's why
Pat,
I'm
these are
asking
just
the
questions
question.
or these just answers. These, it's just either.
No, there's no hate.
It's just questions and it's just answers.
I'm
Facts.
coming from a place of knowledge.
Literally.
I have none, so I'm just
choose to
asking the
not
question.
speak on shit I
Inform
don't
me,
know
you
nothing
Pat.
about.
I'm just asking the question.
Yes, sir.
There's people who,
Inform-
like me, wouldn't
inform me,
know.
Pat.
That's all.
So let me ask
No
you,
offense
so
to you,
I can
Pat.
walk you down this road so you
Big
you
fan.
understand on your own. You figure it out because you're very intelligent. So,
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
I said thanks. Fuck you.
so you don't say it often.
I know that's the
Anyway,
point.
second time.
So, we're, according to most of mankind, I'm gonna say 98 percentile,
Yes, sir.
was the first man born and or made.
Oh, Africa.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
anything that happened after that came from Africa. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I mean by that. Look at hieroglyphics.
Okay, hold on. Before
Egypt, from Egypt.
before we go into that, just one little quick question. So then, how is any of anything cultural appropriation if we all came from Africa and all started in Africa?
Bro, we had this conversation.
I'm just asking the question. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, so for you to say that American people with dreads was culturally appropriating some shit from Haiti, but the people of color all came from the same place. The dreads came from Africa. It just so happened that was more Haiti, Jamaica, and then all those islands over there, they all literally have the same look. Not everybody got dreads, but there's a lot. That's America now. So, that being said,
I'm mad.
these ideas came from people who came from somewhere else. So all of our ideas came from the original place.
I get that.
Like you are a very, 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 one more very light-skinned black person.
I am.
That is some real shit. That is the realest
You know
shit
what?
you've ever said.
And he's right.
Well,
Because, all right, so I got a controversial question.
Ah, shit.
I want you to. This is why I love this shit. So, I want her opinion on this because it's a little bit into the whole transgender thing. Because I honestly think
That's a woman.
I have.
Because he did
That's
this
a woman.
Yeah, I know. No, not you. You're not transgender. But I actually think. I do. I actually think I have a better argument of saying I identify as black than any man has the ability or woman has the ability to say they identify as a different gender. Because if you look in my DNA, I've got African in my DNA. It might only be 0.01%.
But Pat, they have 0% man in them. But this is not the place to talk about that. We gonna get canceled.
Fuck that. I'm just asking a question. I want to have a conversation. That's all this is.
So what do you?
I personally think that I would have a more legitimate argument saying I'm black than Leah Thomas, who's the NCAA Athlete of the Year, female Athlete of the Year, that's a biological male. I think I have a better argument of saying I'm black than I do of saying I'm a woman.
No, and you do because the man is a man. I mean,
Yes.
I'm just honestly saying the man is a man, and I mean, shit. What else needs to be said after that?
So
I mean,
Put it on.
Hold on.
One line.
I did.
Okay. You coach high school boys basketball.
I do.
Okay. Would you ever think it would be right for one of your student athletes currently to say, you know what, I identify as a woman, I want to go play on the girls basketball
First
team?
of all, I think that's a biased question because she would want that. She the coach.
No, she coaches boys, not girls. So if she coached the girls, then she'd be like, yeah, bring them boys on my
See,
team.
but it would depend in. Oh. No. See, I'm not even thinking about along the lines of that. I'm thinking of a woman playing against guys in basketball. So I'm thinking of a competitive nature. Because growing up, they made it gender.
And what position
biased.
did you play?
Point guard.
Okay.
Best one. But
Hey, no, check her out.
Now, what if you had a 6 foot?
Where can we find those highlights I saw when you was in high school?
High school?
We
No,
went.
it may have been.
That might have been college.
I think it was college. But
I'm
I
not
had
sure.
some
She
semi-pro
got
highlights
some
on
handles and she got some defense.
Okay, so how would you
Yeah.
feel about a trans woman playing against you as a point guard?
See, that's what I'm saying though. If I'm looking at it from like a competitive nature, I always wanted to play with the guys. I hate when I'm playing basketball
some
these
real
days with
shit.
guys and we don't get picked up. They overlooking us because they want to get all the dudes. How do you know what my game is like? Put me on the court, and the moment I get out there, I'm going to show you something. I'm playing in a guys tournament tomorrow.
I
Or
bet-
today.
Honestly,
Today.
I
We're
bet you
winning.
could run circles around me because I don't play basketball.
But I'm just saying though, in that aspect, I would kind of be biased because I'm thinking of like being competitive.
So
when it comes
you want the transgender to play against you because you want to show his ass.
See, and that's
Or
what I'm
they
personal. Yeah, see, I'm personalizing it. I'm making it all about me. But in the sense of it being fair, I think that it is unfair. Granted, okay, I can wake up one day and be like, look, this is how I feel. I want to be this. Do I think it's fair to send it, send the situation to others? Some people aren't ready for that. So then they'll create a whole bunch of controversy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for people being unapologetically themselves, and how you feel is how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to that aspect, that's just doing way too much, I feel like. When it comes to the...
I don't think it's a fair playing field.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Because like I was never a college athlete.
Right.
So if you wanted to compare your basketball skills to mine, you're gonna wipe the floor with me.
Right.
100%. I have no doubt that I am gonna lose 10-1, maybe.
Yeah.
And I might only get one because I'm 6'2" and
in the
you're
post.
5'5",
Yeah.
or 5'6", whatever that
You should
is.
dunk that, but...
But if you were, don't you wait. Don't hold on. Don't you know white boys can't jump?
Hey.
I
Right, man.
Jack Harlow could.
Yeah,
anyway,
Couldn't he though?
But-
I'm actually impressed with dude a little bit.
But it's not a fair playing field because I'm not a college athlete that can't compete against other men of my stature.
Right.
I'm not a trained college athlete.
So you
Whereas
said she went against LeBron James.
not even LeBron
And he
James.
went to college, and he played point guard.
No
He
offense,
came in the league
no
playing point
offense
guard,
to you, but he would body the fuck out of you. You get your ass
He gonna
beat.
hold you.
Honestly,
Shit.
I'm not ducking.
You're not ducking.
I
No,
don't care. I'm
no.
still. Let's go, LeBron. I don't care.
But
I'm
let's be
taking no
real.
action.
Let's be real. You ain't gonna shy
Oh,
away
I'm
from
a
him.
damn 10,
But
but
what?
I'm-
See, that's the point. She ain't got a damn
But
chance.
I'm
Nah,
still.
you gonna ball your heart out.
What about
But it's just gonna be all hard on
Candace
the court.
Candace
Like
Parker?
Mike-
Candace who's the
Candace
WN?
Owen?
No.
Candace Parker.
Candace Parker, facts.
Can-
I
yeah.
heard Candace, and I said Candace Owen.
Yeah, I thought the same
Hey, but
thing. I
that
was
was
like,
dude's last name, wasn't it? His last name was his name Parker.
Who?
His last name was Parker. Dude, she married. In the NBA, Candace Parker. Her husband.
Who did she?
Her,
Jabari Parker
Sharon Williams. No, it was Sharon.
all right, but still,
Williams or something.
do you think Candace Parker is arguably one of the best WNBA players ever? Right?
I would say the.
Okay.
She's the
How do
LeBron
you
of
think
the
she'd
league.
be doing against LeBron James?
I don't think she would
Honest
have
opinion,
bad. No,
what do you
no,
think?
she's not small.
I know she's not.
So I guarantee you, like LeBron is tough and he can back her down or whatever, but she's tall. So once he gets to the where he want to do whatever he's gonna do, his finishing move, she is a big enough player to where I think Candace Parker would probably.
Do you think she beats him?
No, I don't.
Okay,
No,
that's
no.
the point. Like,
Hell
okay.
no, if that's
But
the
he
final
worked
answer,
for-
no.
Yes, no, you're right.
I thought this was
I'm not
already
saying it'd be
because
easy.
of how she
But-
would play him.
But
No, we ain't
If
talking
she
about
beat
that.
him or
We
not,
ain't talking
it's a
about
no.
this.
LeBron's not being beat. I honestly, and
Not
this
by
is-
a woman.
This is not being fucked up at all, but not by a woman.
Not by a woman.
LeBron
I love
James.
women, but no.
We're
Yes.
talking about here.
I
We're talking
think
about
Andrew Wiggins. might be
99 overall.
Alright, here's
okay.
the
He's
thing.
not being beat by a woman.
All right, so did you know that both Venus and Serena Williams at one point made a challenge to play a men's tennis player, right?
I did not know.
I didn't know.
They played.
that for
They
I love
both
that for a
played
fact. They
the
tough to black
200th
women.
or so ranked man in the world.
Yes, sir.
200th ranked man in the world.
That's actually good. Where it don't
He
sound
beat
It
Serena.
sounds great, actually, in the world.
He beat but Serena and Venus were number 1 and number 2 in the world
Yes,
in
sir.
females
for
at
the
the
women,
time.
For women, for women.
They
Yes, sir.
lost 6-0 and 6-1
Okay, but
to the 200th ranked guy, and Serena
But that
flat
was-
out said, "Men's game is so different from women's because I can't return their volleys. I
Honest-
can't return their serves."
honest opinion, Pat. Honestly, like, and it's not being biased at all. Speaking from a women and a man perspective, more than likely, I'm speaking for everybody. It's not gonna be fair with a man versus a woman, regardless.
No, it's not regardless.
Physically,
because I'll tell you
physically.
right now, I bet she could whoop you at basketball. I bet
That-
she could
Oh,
whoop you at basketball.
That is cap,
You
Pat.
good.
I think so.
Three.
I think so.
Listen, you have never
Pat.
look, and it's
Had
not
it.
even a judging the book by its cover
Pat,
thing. Pat, it's not judging the
Hey.
book by its cover thing.
Now,
You
she
wouldn't
cold.
look at her or me and tell
But
me
we-
really who.
Hold on. Here's why I say that. Did you get an offer to play basketball in
And
college?
look, this is gonna be fucked up to say. It's not. I didn't have any offers. It's not that because of my injury.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
really can't
Okay,
name a
all right,
girl.
okay.
My girl
All right,
best
all
friend.
right.
He had a
Hey,
tumor.
My girl
Okay.
best friend, shout out Jada Lane. She has several D1 offers, and she cannot fuck with me at all. She knows that. She honestly voiced that out of her own mouth. She said, "Cause you're a boy.
See,
Boys basketball is different than girls
it-
basketball."
But I think that you have the body to be able to score points on her, but I think
Yup.
she has the
But I think
handles
she
that
has
will be
a
able
way
to get
better
around.
career
This
than
is where
me,
I'm
though.
coming from.
So, but I don't know how you
Big
play.
facts.
You played in a blue and yellow or blue and gold jersey, right? Or
Yep, you talking about my semi-pro highlights.
Yeah.
all right,
sir.
there we go. So I watched you play.
Yeah.
I commented on your play.
Yep.
You got defense. You have fucking handles.
All of that. Everything in the book.
He had that in size.
Yep.
So I'm not taking away from your talents.
Aw.
Either way, she's good.
That's my point. You're
Either
good.
way, regardless of what I gotta say
I
about me.
remember your highlights
Yeah.
from watching them, you are very fucking talented.
Yeah.
And you said you was gonna be a coach. I said they lucky to have you as a coach.
Yes,
Go look
sir.
at your comments on fucking Facebook. You'll find it.
And women's
And This is
basketball.
what I'm saying about that. I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off, but I want to finish this first. So this is what I'm saying about that. I saw both of y'all play. That's why I came up with my opinion.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Right.
This boy is good as fuck. Don't let him fool you.
Yeah.
That's what's
I
going
didn't say
on.
nothing.
No, it was me.
No, we know you.
I was the one
We know
that
you
said
not
Hey,
saying
don't
that.
have
I think you good. And no offense. As no offense as this might come out as, I think you're great for a fucking girl. I think you might really be serving shit. Yeah, I said, I'm not gonna say it like that.
Not for
But
a
I
girl.
think you really be serving shit. Like you really put work on
Go look her up. You'll find the footage.
That's how I
She
feel.
can fucking play.
Fact, exactly. But you wouldn't compare her to me ever, any day of the week. You would never be like,
Because you ain't putting no footage out there.
Exactly.
So
you
I
wouldn't
would
always
say,
think she's
Be
better.
deceiving.
on YouTube, she fuck you up.
Always
Right.
better
Don't
than me.
even
Completely better than me.
Right.
100% better than
Right.
me. If you're looking off statistics,
Right.
she's guaranteed better than me. Like there's not a
Then there's the one-on-one on the black.
and then
top.
there's the real
And then it's
real life
Yeah.
part
Yeah.
about us going against each other and we respecting each other's
Right,
game.
right.
You would never know.
Good as fuck. He shoot threes. He got dribbles. He cold as fuck. I'm not saying you don't have skills. It's if you play against him and you don't have teammates.
Like the
You
only
just ball out and you cut the rim shit like that. Make you do what you do.
Yeah.
One-on-one. I'm not being biased because that's my son. I'm being biased because I saw both of y'all play.
my
You've
only
never seen
no,
either.
I haven't seen either one of them play. But the basis of my
Pat, no offense on
information.
what you say, so
No, I
say what
know.
you gotta say.
No. The only basis of my information is she went
She
to
shitted on
college.
you.
No, she didn't shit on you.
She
I
was
shitted
college
on
to
you.
who?
I
What do
shitted
you
on
mean she's
you.
not shitting on me?
I shitted on
I
you.
didn't even.
That
She-
goes back to
go
the
to
paper.
college
That goes
people.
back to the paper thing.
All I have is the information of she's played semi-pro. She went to college. She did. You have not. I've never seen either one of you play.
Right.
So just on that information, like I'm never gonna look
On
at a
that
guy.
information, she's way better.
And that's my only
Literally,
point.
it's literally off statistics.
Yes, that's what my.
That's
That's
what the
all
world
my
revolves
point.
around is fucking statistics. It's really what it is.
But
It's not bad
here's the
at
thing.
all.
All right, let's put it
You
this
should
way.
go off statistics regardless.
I never wrestled in college.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, if I ended up meeting a girl who wrestled in college, I wrestled in high school. If she was 5'7" and I'm 6'2" and 180 pounds and she's 150, I'm gonna fucking murder her.
I mean, I'm like Pat fucking obviously. Facts.
If I met a girl that wrestled, I'm gonna lose.
Intentionally.
She cold. She can beat me. Go on, baby.
Only if she's sitting on my shoulders. I mean, never mind.
You showing out.
Nasty
Oh
back.
my
You showing out.
But no, but like I didn't say that from a bad place when I said he could beat her. It's because I actually have my statistics and my analytics in my head already. Like you wouldn't believe that I remember your footage that you put on.
No,
Facebook.
that was a couple years ago.
Facts.
Exactly. And like,
But
I watched every video you put up. It wasn't many. It was like 2 or 3.
Yeah, wasn't many, no.
do
He
you,
knows his shit. He knows his
I
shit.
watched
Fucking
them,
back.
and I said something to you. I'm like, you cold as fuck, and you finna be a coach. They love to have you.
Yeah,
Go look at the comments. You see, I said that.
yeah,
What I'm saying is, I know you're skilled up,
yeah.
and it's the whole biology thing where he was already born to be bigger than you.
Facts.
As a
Facts.
and he's not saying that as me being his
It's men
son.
and women.
No.
how
It's facts how the world looks at
Y'all,
it.
listen.
You
say
know,
whatever
you
y'all gotta say.
know.
Y'all ain't gotta. I got.
No, we
I'm
know
right
you.
here with you. I'm
We
good.
know you know, but I'm saying
Yeah.
we explaining it for the podcast.
I'm just saying right
You
now.
know.
On the show.
You know it yourself.
Facts.
We know you know.
Facts.
If
Like
they
this.
don't
understand.
Like
when
this.
this party, I guarantee you, she's not just gonna have 0 points.
It wouldn't be a
That's
different
not what I'm saying.
oh, I think she'd make him look
I
a
have
fool
no
every
you
once in a
offers,
while.
but it wouldn't be a
Not,
different
not the whole time, but like,
That's my point.
yeah.
Like, Maury, you should really, if you got time, go find her on Facebook and go find out what I'm talking about.
I gotta see this.
What
Not
I'm
just
saying-
Samari, anybody else watching. Y'all should go check this woman
I
out.
remember the jersey color. I was like, damn, she cold as fuck, for real. Like, she got the handle. She reminded me of like Allen Iverson if he had a dog.
Man, I'm so much better than that. What you seen?
I see. That's all I saw.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just tooting my own horn.
But off of that,
Yeah.
I still got a lot of respect for
Yeah,
him.
no, I appreciate that.
So
That's
the
love.
question is, do
That's
you
love.
think it's fair? Like if you were a point guard still in college,
And then he
if
was a
you
big girl.
he
No.
was he
Hell no.
It's really
I said,
not.
that's what I was saying. In a competitive standpoint, I'd be like, yeah, forget it. But I'm saying, number-wise, when we get into it, hell no. No, because it's unfair.
yeah.
I like to win.
I'm taking her
I
versus
That's the part I'm
I
So-
like to win.
Why you want to play a man?
Yeah.
Make it way
So-
harder.
Look, and this is the best way to describe it. I take her against the number one ranked girl, right? But I would never in my life take her against the number one world man.
Right.
It's not even fucking fair
No.
at all.
So-
Height wise, weight wise, nothing.
All right, so that brings me to my next question. Do you think it's fair that a man can ever transition to a woman and understand what a woman actually goes through?
Honestly,
Vice versa too.
I know.
yeah. On both sides. Honestly, no. Because I feel like you go through a process and you start to develop things over time. But the emotions and the things that you feel internally, it's hard to kind of like inject that in someone. Because what I feel as a woman, you could never feel as a man. Because we were born to be a man and a woman. So you can't inject and you can't go through this transition, but it's never going to be the real thing. That makes sense.
It's because I think we're raised differently too.
It's a lot.
Because if you think about, like, I don't have any sisters, so I don't know what it was like having a dad that raised a girl.
Right.
But I know that as a man, as a boy, I was taught you have to work, you have to do everything. You gotta, show everybody your worth. You ain't worth shit until you build something. Like if you're a 40-year-old man, you ain't got a car or a house, you ain't worth shit.
You ain't shit.
You ain't
You're not
shit.
even fucking human.
But if you're a woman,
Damn, that's kind of
It's deep. It's deep. It really get deeper than that.
but
It really get deep. That.
the way that we teach our girls and raise, like I'm a girl dad. I've only got one kid and I've got a daughter. We teach our daughters, you ain't got to do nothing. A man will come in and take care of you, and you're going to be taken care of, and you ain't got to work as hard.
Time out, Seymour. Never told my daughter.
Not everybody. I mean, obviously not everybody, but a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Like we raise our boys and our girls differently from the day they come out of the fucking womb.
Literally.
So how in the hell can a 30-year-old man go in and be like, "Oh, I'm a woman"? You don't know what it's like to be a woman.
At all.
Nah, you got no, and
would
no
never
woman
know.
has any idea what it's like to be a man.
And experiences are everything. So
All of that ties into something we said earlier when we wasn't even recording. When it was asked, can a woman raise a man?
right.
A woman can, like I said, raise the idea of a man.
So
She don't have the experience.
she asked a question, but we never got her response. Do you think a single woman can raise a man to be the man that they actually want?
Well, see, here goes my neutral ass again. I've seen it happen. And honestly, do I think that it can be? Here I go. How do I want to put this shit? All right. I watched my grandmother raise my brother and my cousin. She raised us all the same. Granted. Now, she raised me to be a certain way, and I went on and I did the things she wanted me to do. The next one up, I had a kid, went a different route, didn't go to school. The next one up, finished, graduated. The next one up, dropped out. We go to the boys. My brother finished. 2 cousins underneath him, guys, they didn't. So that goes to my neutral aspect of it. Yes, she raised some of the women. Some of them didn't make it. One of the guys made it, the other one didn't. So I think it just depends on the person on the other end and how the want to. That goes back to our kids that we spoke about earlier. The want to be great, to finish. Now, may it be up to the standards that most would want it to be? It may not, because you may not learn about women. You may not learn about this. You may not learn everything, but you may learn just enough to turn out to be how you are without having that male figure. So Yeah.
I want to say this off the real. Shout out to your grandma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up.
She's
Absolutely.
fire. She was
Shout out to
fire.
your grandma. The reason why I say she was dope as fuck, and I see where you get all your essence from.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
So, she did the best she could.
Mm-hmm.
All she knew was what she knew.
Right.
And she tried to instill that in all of y'all.
Yep.
People are not cookie cutters.
No.
No.
You cannot just put one design and say, I'm gonna make you this way, you this way, you this way, and you this way. And that's how all y'all gonna turn out.
Right.
I'm gonna try to make
Exactly.
you this way, you this way, you this way, you this way, and I hope that's how y'all turn out. And that's what your grandma did.
Yeah.
And she did the best for what she was getting.
Yeah.
On real shit. And I'm gonna tell you what, I don't know your siblings, and I don't know your cousins.
Yeah.
She did a great job on you.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
thank
you.
her.
Yeah.
Big
for
facts.
real. No.
Big
for real.
facts. You hear me? Big facts.
She did her big one, as they say.
You
You
know,
hear
for
me?
real, for real.
Yeah.
Big
Do you,
facts.
do you remember? You probably don't remember, but when I met you, I told you what you said. So do you remember what I told you what you said when you met me? I asked you your name. You like my name, Dayon Styles. I like that. You know, Styles.
Yeah.
Ooh. And you looked at me dead in my eye,
Uh-huh.
and you was like, "I'm special."
Damn, did I?
I bullshit you not. You looked at me and you
Shit.
said,
Shit.
You said I'm special. I'm
Damn.
gonna be something, and I'm gonna be something special. And as soon as you said that, like literally, you had my heart. Like she means that.
Yes.
And you got to think, I met you, and I'll tell you exactly the day I met you because
I remember we were
it
standing
was
there.
my sister's birthday. It was August 21st, 2021.
Okay. And I remember we were standing outside the little
Yep, over there. It was downtown.
by Ulrich's kind of.
Yep.
Right there on that corner.
Right there on the corner.
Yeah.
It was you, some
I was with my best-
light-skinned girl with glasses.
Yep.
I remember that.
My best friend was there. She kept
Yes.
going over. Yep.
And you told me that, and I was like, I fucks with that. That's manifestation.
Damn.
And I stuck with that because there's a lot of people I done met along the way since then, before then,
Yeah.
whatever. I could just left them by the wayside. I ain't seen you since then.
Since then. Just
Almost 2
Facebook.
years. Next month will be
Just
2 years since
Facebook.
I saw you face
That's
to face.
no, that's real though. That's the
I kept in
fact.
contact with you.
Yeah.
You do music, so I'm like, perfect. I just
Right.
I got you. So that I'm glad that you do music because that's the reason why we stayed in contact somewhat. And we fell out for a little bit.
We
or whatever.
did,
But,
yeah.
then but the thing is, when you told me that, I was like, that's my attitude in life, and I like that. Your energy is the dope as fuck.
Dang. And you know
Big
what?
facts.
I keep saying dang, like damn, I said that because to me it's just coming full circle again. Because I told you I'm trying to get back to not who I was, but I'm trying to get to a certain point to where like I'm elevating, I'm feeling myself again. So for me to say
Facts.
I'm special in 2021, I know I had to be feeling
It was
myself.
how you was walking.
Yo,
too.
I felt like the
Big
shit back then.
facts.
I
You
know.
know that.
I tell you where
know.
we was at. We was downtown almost before you get to the library.
Yeah.
We had passed up hoops and all that shit. We on the right side of the street.
Big facts.
That's when my cuz, he said something to you. Then he spunk off or whatever. reason,
Yeah.
and I said something to you. We ended up on the other
Yeah.
side of the street.
Yep.
Over by
Ulrichs
Diesel?
and all that shit. Yeah, Ulrichs and Diesel.
Yeah.
Diesel's
Yep.
right in
It
the
was
middle.
right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Facts.
I wonder why he was
Right
hanging
there.
around Diesel.
You got it messed up.
Ah.
What we're gonna do, right? We didn't go to a single club that night. Me,
Diesel's a gay bar.
Yeah.
we probably
People,
went to the
it was people outside.
Everybody was outside.
Yeah.
Nobody was
Yeah,
inside.
everybody was outside.
But nah, it's just your whole essence. You just came off like I didn't ask you none of that shit.
Nah, just
I asked you
vibing.
your name.
Yeah, we was just vibing.
You was like, my name is Dayon Styles. And people don't generally give you their last name.
Right.
And I was like, that's dope. That's like Styles P. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, and I rap too.
Yep. Hell yeah, I remember.
Big facts.
Okay.
know
Yeah.
that.
So you rap, guess what? I do beats.
Uh-huh.
And then you like, give me your number.
Yeah, we gotta connect.
Big
But
facts, you know that.
I love that because like for real, I'm trying to get back to that confidence I had back then. I felt like the shit, and I'm trying to get that
But
shit
you know
back.
what? And all respect the purposes, you are the shit.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The confirmation, like I said, when I say trying to get it back, it's just like reminding myself of exactly that. Like, because like I said, it was dark for a minute. It was real dark.
Sometimes you fall asleep, you just jump in states. You gotta wake up.
I'm up. So I thank y'all for real, for you being patient with me, because you've been asking. Like I said, we kind of been in touch. You've been sending me beats. You always come through. We done made
Every time you ever ask
come
for a
through.
beat, you're like, hey, you used the beats you gave me. Give me another.
Yeah, send it.
more.
Send it. That's it. That's
See what I mean?
all. Like, and I appreciate that for real, and for you guys to have me on the show. Like, it's love.
I think it's all coming full circle, like you said.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a growing relationship.
Oh
Yeah. So we can definitely cross promote, help each other grow. That's kind of what we're doing. We have the same type of message, everything that we want to try to get to at the same point.
Yeah.
Working together is going to be great for us all.
I love it. I appreciate
And
you having
we
me.
gonna catch this guy sober.
Sometime, one of these days.
One day we gonna catch me sober, but not today.
I say one of these days.
One of these days.
Right.
Shout out to the show about everything.
All right.
The intro right there. The show about everything.
So what we're going probably want to go home.
Yeah, that part.
So, all right. Well, thank y'all for coming back for another show about everything. Thank you to Deanna Skiles and Dayana Styles.
You know that.
Man, I just fucked it all up again. All right, and we'll wait one. Thanks again for showing up for another show about everything. I am the honest asshole, along with my partner in crime, Socrates. Thank you so much to Dayana Styles and Mari. Great show. Really enjoy us. We'll definitely have both of y'all back again. Hopefully, Mari might actually be sober that time.
I'm gonna be sober next time. Maybe.
Thanks for all coming out. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night. Yeah, like, subscribe, and share, because, you know, that's the only way we can get this message out.
That's a big fact.
Peace.
Shout out Pat. Shout out Marsberg.
That was a great show.
That was a lit show. Maybe because I was drunk, but that was lit to me.
Was it just lit to me? Drunk or not, you was gonna be sober.
Okay, I was thinking it was lit to all of us. I thought it was just me. I thought I was just busting. It was just me.
That was lit.
That's facts.
I can't believe
It still making me mad. I don't know where you're from, but okay.
I don't know. We gonna accept the camera Saturday.
We just not gonna know where you're from.
Fuck this came from, but also like, alright,
Ain't, but it ain't no,
You think I'm not?
it ain't gonna get on this shit.
I don't blame you. You didn't see me picking with you.
that's what I'm looking
I need to take some, either one or both.
Man, we can take whatever. I'm a Hall of Fame carrier.
Good. I'm gonna open this goddamn garage door because I ain't feel like
Facts.
shit.
Fat.
Facts.
Yeah, Mari, I need you to cover everything you take out there.
Shout out Pat, nigga.
Shout out that nigga.
Shout out Pat, nigga. Nigga, mom.
That's
Pat
what
was
I said. I
there.
know, don't raise
I wish somebody would play with Pat so I could beat the shit out of him. You feel me, Pat?
I told him, Mari, I said, man, this motherfucker I've been meaning for you to beat up. That son of a bitch, I ran to the gas station and hit my car. I told him, what's his ass?
You think I'm not gonna do it too, Pat? I'm sorry, I'm 19.
He was drunk when he was drunk when I seen his ass.
He gonna be drunk when I hit his ass
He
too.
was drunk when my son got on his ass.
It's just sad I pray that he's drunk.
Yeah.
I know we don't know each other this well, but I gotta give you a hug and I appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Right here, fool. I said, I don't know. As soon as I say I don't know, it's right there. But, like, that was a really good show.
We had a really good podcast.
I said, now for your podcast,
Yeah.
when you want me or Pat or both of us on that motherfucker.
Man, so
So this is what we're gonna do. Me and Pat are gonna do this same thing
yeah.
at my house. And I'm
Okay.
gonna be yours.
Okay.
So I just be right across the bridge.
Right across the bridge.
So this nigga came out of nowhere with the ad libs. So when there's times where
Right.
it'd be more convenient for you to be closer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I live, like you know where the boat at?
Yep.
I live right down
Right
the street.
there.
You know, I live on Access Road.
Yeah. We gonna have to make it happen.
I forgot we ever even had them because I was on 415 when we had them. But anyway, I appreciate. I'm telling you, like I think we got the future.
We got a nice time podcast.
You were.
Thank
You
you.
told me when I met you.
Yes. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you cold as fuck. I
appreciate
swear to
it.
God, this is my shit. No.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't.
You want this?
I think I manifested it. So I told him.
Oh yeah, you a roach smoker too? I thought I was a roach
I
smoker.
don't know a lot of people. I told people supposed to like about you, like it was really like your personality. Like, I remember a lot about you
Yeah.
from just meeting you.
How about that was me?
I'm like, she dope as
But
fuck.
that's me and you.
Dude, I learned
I
how
ain't
to
even
roll
worried about
fast.
it.
Go from the dude that lives with me. His name's Mortel.
Like,
Shout out Mortil. Shout out Mortil.
shout out Mortil.
This a real ass blunt. 'Cause this motherfucker itty bitty. Damn, I need to get the
Y'all
goddamn.
Damn,
niggas,
what?
the fuck y'all smoking that?
What?
Me and Pat some pro roach smokers.
How? And it's still on the bar.
You gotta let me pick it up.
We some pro.
John, Pat, just
Like
talking
you
about-
got,
roast
like you
smoker,
got a weed right there. though. It's a whole jar. Y'all don't live life on the. Go ahead.
He don't live like this. Like Amari, no, you don't live like that. I ain't never seen you do this a day.
Man, that little rad roach making me
Oh,
mad.
don't try to act stressed.
Right, now you don't
Blowing.
now you
Where
don't
this
want to
come
go.
from?
No, that little motherfucker blew me. It burnt.
Shit, the little motherfucker, you do that.
You
You
don't
burn
burn.
motherfucker.
I'm not gonna blame Pat. Why the fuck would I blame Pat? When the roach was right there.
Well, you got like somebody. He right next to you.
Somebody's to blame.
So I mean, like that's the easiest reason why you would blame.
Are we going home?
I mean, I don't like
Where the fuck do you think we're going?
I
Right.
Are we going home? Well, I'm going
don't know.
home.
Shut up, Pat.
If you had wanted to stay in the garage, you can stay.
Right.
I mean, but I'm a white boy, so you always blame the
Shout
white
out,
boy
Pat.
for
Bro,
everything.
that shit, that handshake felt fake.
Damn.
Shout out to
Damn,
him.
how you gonna let this little young ass dude talk to you like that?
Shout out to
I
him.
give a fuck.
Talking about your handshake's fake.
Y'all had a great combo today. I was drunk though. I ain't never been this drunk, I don't think.
I don't think you have either. I watched you.
I really
several
don't
times.
think I've been this
Talking
drunk.
He was.
I was pulling up to the
about-
right
I got the headphones on. Like if you breathe in,
Oh,
I
you
can
can
hear
hear
it
it.
back.
Yeah.
That bitch shoot is not even me.
This nigga just grabbed your phone. What the fuck? Anybody call me?
I grabbed that phone earlier. I'm like, it's not even me.
I don't even worry about it. The funny thing is, when we was building all this shit, I'm like, damn, Pat, I lost my damn phone.
How the fuck I put this phone on?
Probably left it in the house. Pat like, yeah, you probably did. My shit start ringing. He whips it out of his pocket.
So realistically, what you said is Pat stole your phone.
I did.
Accident.
I did.
All right, Murray. So I
100% did.
need this.
Are
This.
you calling me?
Hold up. Am I?
Is he asking me for phone? I'm gonna go over this.
Yeah, no, he is. He calling you.
What you need, gang? 'Cause you my boy.
So like what you need. My nigga, love you, boy. What you need? I just need this shit to come with me. What you need all what? I gotta do some beats. Let me play a beat, a song. And I gotta do, I'm gonna get what you need. What you need? I'm cool now. I got a song now. Are you gonna stop talking? I promise I'm gonna. What you need? Point it at it, I'm gonna grab it.
I mean, you might want to stop the video.
This is a video? I've been stopping the video.
Are
Are you recording?
Real quick, you ain't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
String is still
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all know what the fuck we on. This is show about everything. If you wanna tune in now. Don't tune in later. Tune in while you got
I appreciate that.
the chance. Fact. I was gonna tune in while you got the chance. Fact.
Pat, you know I really blame my dad. So why am I just...
You don't know what to say, stop. This is private. I sent this to you on a whim.
I ain't never heard y'all.
I can tell you were falling asleep on the bar.
I was not falling asleep. That's fucking cat.
Yeah,
I gotta review
Yeah,
on the camera.
don't stop.
Don't worry, Marco.
Is that my game?
I'm getting it, that
Yeah, we
bullshit.
getting it.
And my breakthrough was within. Gotta
You got it?
speak out my feelings. Y'all had me fucked up. I was asleep, but I'm up. Do the shit. Had me stuck in my spirit. Yes, it's back. Talk to me nicely. Don't think
Okay,
that I
right,
need
right.
you. Better choose wisely. Is it the reefer or is it amnesia? I tried to keep you Brandy and Moesha.
I'm fucking with that. I'm fucking with that.
Yeah.
I thought y'all were
I
gonna
did
laugh.
that
Like that's a little. It's
100,000.
more like a.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was another one I wanted to see.
Okay, yes.
I'm gonna show it to you.
Yes,
I named this beat after this ugly motherfucker right here.
Oh yeah? It must be lit then.
This my nigga right
It must be lit then.
You don't know, we just had like a little falling out, and then me and this nigga ain't never had that in our life.
Yeah.
Ever 19 years in, and that was the first time. But
We straight
it don't matter though, cause don't run. That's why I say when I should die.
I about to show her the
What are you grabbing though? Let's show me where grab me. I can grab whatever you need me to
I
grab.
need all of this except for that TV.
So the PC, this,
No,
ring,
that
that.
was already here.
Oh, you was already here?
No, this was
Not the mics. No.
The computers, motherfucker.
Thank you.
I'm drunk. Y'all been drunk before. How the fuck easy is it talking?
I ain't never been drunk before. You
I got a pee record from I got y'all.
I ain't never drank one before in my life.
That is
I'm
not
gonna
just
think y'all
like
gonna
the
be right.
reality of what I hate in life. You correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm about to be wrong. I gotta tell you. Fuck you, man. Tell everybody you've been cussing.
I'm not like her. I don't go both ways.
Hey, you might want to one day. I ain't saying I do.
Nah. Look, I've had my opportunities, alright?
I bet you have like a trillion of them in the lifestyle.
Okay, not a trillion. Maybe
Stop
like
living in the stress, huh?
This nigga failed. Oh, this is a mop for a room. This is a mop for a room under his leg. Okay, find out. This is his leg. The door's right here. There's a mop for a room right here. I'm trying to figure out how the door swung over his leg that fast.
How the fuck I
He's still there. It's a swift ray. It's not a mop.
shit.
Can you stop breaking my shit?
Please stop breaking this man's shit, man. God damn it.
Damn, how keep falling? Y'all keep leaving me to fall.
Falling on your home.
Shout out Pat, nigga. Shout out Pat. We love Pat, bro. Damn, let me make sure I'm not fucked up before I go to sleep, though.
You straight nigga, I ain't gonna let you be fucking.
I used to load the computers and shit.
Oh, was I carrying this shit?
No, you were supposed
to
to.
an internet shit.
Damn, how else to get that to the rain?
Don't do it. I'll get my own shit before I let you do it.
No, I'm cool, but I'm saying
I don't know if you cool. You said how you gonna get it to the rain.
It's making me mad because I know her
Hey,
somewhere, but I
hey,
can't remember
hey,
where. I swear
hey.
to God, I've never fucked.
Mark.
Okay.
Look at me.
Did your man drink?
This is on Pat.
That was a good ass throw pass. Because you shot me in
This
the
is on
cheek.
Pat.
Hit me in the fucking face. This is there.
You never miss unless you ask. Why would I been asked to miss?
Just ask my email on my phone.
Suck my damn it. How the fuck I fucked the inside of my arm up when I failed?
I don't have a clue.
I thought I was
Fire
throwing
how
my
you do
back.
that.
So, what's you smoking again?
I'm just gonna do